First blind date. A cliché plot where I'm devoured by the domineering Duke right after meeting. Never heard of it. This woman before me was originally a former boyfriend. His best friend stole him away. In a fit of anger, he agreed to his family's arrangement and came to meet the wealthy Duke for a blind date. Not wanting to be chosen, he deliberately wore glasses. He put on extremely destructive rural, non-mainstream makeup. Unexpectedly, he ran into the best friend who stole his boyfriend right on the spot. To save face, he had no choice but to borrow his blind date partner. Drowning his sorrows, he drank a few glasses and blacked out. His name is Yi Lu-sha. In his drunken state, with blurry vision, he turned to the man he just met for the first time. Crying, he said Jiang Tsuanhao, his original boyfriend, had been with his best friend Jing Shaoling behind his back for so long. Oh, it's infuriating. The red-haired man, seeing him drunk, took away the glass in his hand, trying to console him. But he was stopped by the crying Yi Lu-sha. He reached out and took off the prop glasses on his face. Laughing, he said to him, "He's seeing other women behind your back. You can also find other men." As expected, glasses are just a seal. Lu-sha, with his glasses off, showed a flush on his face from the alcohol, his eyes hazy. Somewhat confused about other men, the Duke gently persuaded, holding his hand and saying softly, "For example, me. You can kiss me first." In a moment of bewitchment, influenced by alcohol, Lu-sha obediently leaned towards the man and kissed his cheek. Seeing this result, the man pushed further. He brought Liu-sha's fingers close to his lips and continued, "Good boy. It's here." Lu-sha, now dizzy, thought it looks very delicious. He was suddenly pressed by the man's head and kissed. After a while, only when he was almost out of breath did the man let go. The man's voice came from beside his ear again, calling his name, the voice deep and magnetic. "Sha-sha, you can continue downwards. Kiss lower." A night passed. The morning sunlight shone on his face. Lu-sha woke up drowsily, his memory a bit fuzzy. He even thought he was still in his dorm, wanted to ask his roommate for a glass of water. Sitting up, he realized where he was, what he was doing. Where are my clothes? Wait, he suddenly became clear-headed. Those terrible memories gradually came back, becoming clearer and clearer. At this moment, the little white rabbit Lu-sha, who had been thoroughly devoured, finally recalled yesterday's events. A day ago, he came to a restaurant for a blind date. At that time, he had deliberately put on makeup to look ugly. As soon as he sat down at the table, he already regretted it. Why did he come? To meet the legendary Earl. He would scare people away. However, good things come in pairs, and misfortunes never come alone. With this shocking appearance, he unexpectedly encountered the person he least wanted to see, his former best friend Jing Shaoling, who was also his ex-boyfriend's current girlfriend. Along with her was his former good friend, Wang Lily. She looks like a rural non-mainstream. This scheming woman, Jing Shaoling, said to Lu-sha, "Next month, Tsuanhao and I are getting engaged. We hope you can come." Lu-sha, hearing this, stood up angrily, about to curse. But he heard the voice of a strange man protecting him. He said to the two women in front of him, "What are you saying to my wife? He seems very unhappy." Lu-sha was surprised. This was actually his blind date. Wasn't this Duke supposed to be scared away? He hadn't left, but now he couldn't think about that much. He thought about putting on a brave face. "Duke, let me borrow you for a moment." Then he hugged his arm and said, "Let me introduce you. This is my husband." The two women were shocked, looking at the imposing man in front of them. "What? Lu-sha actually has a husband?" This red-haired man began to dismiss them. He said, "The way you speak to my wife, he will be unhappy. My wife doesn't want to see you. You can leave now." These two women couldn't argue with him, nor could they fight him. They had no choice but to turn and leave. As they walked out the door, they didn't forget to leave a harsh word. Xiaolin is the fiancé of the Jiang family. The Jiang family is nobility. You can't afford to offend them. Just wait for next time. Lu-sha, looking at their retreating figures, sighed, "The man you're insulting is the first in line to inherit the royal family." Duke Murong Mabai of Luoyi. Seeing the outsiders leave, Murong Mabai asked Lu-sha who they were. Lu-sha replied that they were former best friends. Then one day, she suddenly told him she was with his ex-boyfriend. As he spoke, Lu-sha became sad again. Luoyi unexpectedly hugged him directly. As if to comfort him, he said, "Go ahead and cry." Lu-sha let down his guard, drowned his sorrows in alcohol, and accidentally drank too much. That's how the later events unfolded. Now sober, he remembered everything. His head was a bit swollen. Goodness, could this be the Duke's blessing? Did I actually devour the Duke? At this moment, sitting on the bed with only a blanket covering his body, Yi Lu-sha recalled the entire course of events. He was somewhat panicked. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Someone outside said, "Miss Yi, the clothes prepared by His Highness have been brought for you. The sizes have already been measured." Hearing this, Liu Sha's face turned red. He thought, measured? How come I don't know how this was measured? But now, there's no time to worry about that. The best of the 36 stratagems is to flee. Better quickly put on clothes and leave this place. After the weekend, he resumed his normal college life. Recently, when he occasionally zoned out during class, he could still recall some scenes from that night. They lingered in his mind. Liu Sha, lying on his desk, started to zone out again. He thought about how he ran away that day, not daring to see the Duke again. Unconsciously, his face began to feel hot again. Suddenly, the teacher asked everyone to be quiet. Someone walked into the classroom. The teacher introduced her as a new student transferring in today. Liu Sha looked up and was shocked. It was her, that green tea ex-best friend Jing Shaoling. She wore her habitual professional smile. She greeted the classmates, asking for their guidance. Everyone was excited to have a beautiful new classmate who smiled so nicely, and they all welcomed her. But Liu Sha was worried, his eyes fixed on Jing Shaoling, thinking that her transfer to his class was probably another trick. The boys in the class, seeing a beauty, teased and asked if she had a boyfriend. Jing Shaoling continued smiling and replied that she did, adding that he was even hosting a dinner for everyone tonight. She flipped her hair and looked at Liu Sha. Pretending to be cordial, she said, Sha, you must come too." Hearing this, Liu Sha felt annoyed and said clearly, word by word, "I will definitely attend." As night fell, classmate Jiang Tsuenhao's transfer dinner for his girlfriend Jing Xiaoming began. The newly transferred Jing Xiaolin proudly boasted to her classmates, "Tonight, my boyfriend, worried that I might not get along well with you all, specially invited everyone." Liu Sha just wanted to sit in a corner, feeling awkward alone. He thought, dog couple, I must eat my fill at this treat. At this time, a female classmate brought an empty bottle, suggesting they play truth or dare. The classmates all joined in, thinking it was fun. They proposed that since Jiang was hosting the dinner, he should ask the first question. Then they started spinning the bottle. Whoever the bottle points to will be asked. While everyone was discussing the game rules, Liu Sha's ex-boyfriend, Jiang Tsunhao, approached Liu Sha, who was only focused on eating, and said, "Little Xin is too fat to get married." Jing Xiaolin immediately chimed in, "Don't say that. Sha has a boyfriend." Before she could finish, the bottle stopped. It pointed directly at Liu Sha. Liu Sha thought, "Why am I so unlucky today?" Jiang Tsunhao laughed and asked him directly, Liu Sha, what's your boyfriend's name?" Hearing this, Liu Sha was defiant. He couldn't reveal the name of the Duke he met on that blind date. He immediately stood up and said, "I choose dare." Hearing this, Jiang Tsuenhao stroked his chin, thinking that if he couldn't even say the name, maybe there wasn't a boyfriend at all. Jing Shaoling also asked, "Could it be that the man we met before was an actor hired by Sha?" Liu Sha was annoyed hearing this. In any case, he couldn't lose face in front of this dog couple. So he shook his head and replied, "You're not worthy of knowing his name." Hearing him say this, Jiang Tsuenhao also became displeased. He thought, "You want to play truth or dare? I don't believe you'll dare to do it." So he deliberately challenged Sha, telling him to go outside, find a man, tell him you're pregnant with his child, and demand he take responsibility. And also bite his lip until it bleeds. Sha glared at him, but didn't back down. "I'll go, who's afraid?" He headed straight for the door, outwardly putting on a brave face, but inwardly hoping that tomorrow's news wouldn't be female college student Harris's stranger in public. This girl, just because she lost a truth or dare, was challenged by her loser ex-boyfriend to go outside, find a man, tell him she's pregnant with his child, demand he take responsibility, and even bite his lip until it bleeds. Liu Sha slammed the door as he left, his eyes quickly locking onto a man passing by the entrance. "You stop right there." He nervously squeezed your palm, but now that the arrow was on the string, it had to be released. Closing his eyes and throwing caution to the wind, he directly said to the man's back, "I'm pregnant with your child. You need to take responsibility." The man turned around saying, "What?" Liu Sha suddenly became flustered. There was no time to think. He stood on tiptoes, hooked his arms around the man's neck, and decisively kissed him. While kissing, he didn't forget to continue biting. Liu Sha thought, this dare is completed now. But wait, why did that voice just now sound familiar? He realized the situation was developing in a somewhat delicate direction. Eyes widening, he saw the man taking advantage. He cupped Liu Sha's face and brazenly deepened the kiss. Liu Sha hurriedly pushed him away, exclaiming, "How dare you take advantage of someone?" The man touched where Lu Sha had just bitten him and asked, chuckling, "Taking advantage?" Only then did Lu Sha clearly see the man's face. It was him. He thought he was doomed. How could he randomly grab someone and it turn out to be the Duke he had a brief encounter with before? At this moment, the onlooking classmates came out to watch the show, all discussing, "Wow, I didn't expect you to be so bold." The female classmates, looking at the man Lu Sha had forcibly kissed, sighed at how handsome he was. Sha stood there, face flushed red, almost recalling the heart-racing events of that night. He thought how embarrassing this was. He won't really think I'm pregnant, will he? Wishing he could dig a hole and hide, he hurriedly made an excuse about using the bathroom and slipped away. This girl ran alone to the terrace for some air. As she thought, her heart tightened. She suddenly realized she was a month late. Could she really be pregnant? Just as Sha was lost in thought, she felt a pair of hands approaching from behind. Accompanied by a faint scent of cologne and warm body heat, the man directly embraced her. For a moment, her mind went blank, and she felt scared. She wanted to scream for help. "There's a pervert." But before she could, she was captured by this domineering man again. Her face was covered as she watched the red-haired man lean in close. Her body froze, unable to move. It was him again. After a while, the man finally released his hold. Only then did Sha have a chance to breathe. She was a bit out of breath. The man curled his lips in a smile, pointing at his lip that she had just bitten, saying, "This is what you owe me." He teased, "Haven't you had a boyfriend before? How come you don't know how to breathe while kissing?" Lu Sha had never encountered such a situation before. He felt his brain heating up, losing the ability to think. His words became jumbled. He honestly confessed to this domineering man, "I've only had one. Not much experience. You'll have to guide me more in the future." The man looked at her dazed expression and said, "All right." He found her extremely cute. Lu Sha, before organizing his thoughts, blurted out and then thought, "What am I saying?" Trying to change the subject and leave, he pushed the man blocking his way and said, Your Grace, my classmates are still in the private room. I should go back." The man didn't stop him upon hearing this. He took out his phone and asked when she would be done. He told Lu Sha to call him after she finished. He made Sha note down his number before leaving. Lu Sha watched the man's departing figure. She was somewhat insensitive as to why he wanted her to wait for him. Could it be that she really thought she was pregnant with his child? The female lead, Yi Lu Sha, returned to the private room, only to find that her classmates had already left. Liu Sha's White Lotus former best friend, Zheng Xiaolin, was holding her ex-boyfriend's arm, saying softly, "Feng Hao has arranged cars for everyone. You're not allowed to change or share rides." The classmates all exclaimed how lucky Xiaolin was and how nice her boyfriend was. Sha, not wanting to look at this fake woman, turned her head and said coldly, "I'm going home, and I'm not going the same way as you all. So I won't be going with you." Her ex-boyfriend, hearing this, suddenly spoke up after dropping off Xiaolin, "I also need to go back to the city center. I might as well give you a ride then." Zheng Xiaolin, hearing this, became uneasy. She clung to Jiang Tsuanhao and said, "I can also go to the city center with you today. Since that's the case, let's accompany Sha back together." Sha directly shook her head and refused. "Thank you for your kindness, but I'll pass." The classmates who hadn't left yet, hearing the conversation between these three, found it strange. Sha and Jiang seemed so much like a couple. But wasn't Zheng Xiaolin supposed to be his girlfriend? The scheming Zheng Xiaolin, seeing the situation, feigned concern and grabbed Lu Sha's hand. She said softly, Sha, I really don't want you to get hurt. Chen Hao, and I still consider you our best friend." Yi Lu Sha, known for her straightforward personality, couldn't stand her pretentious act and immediately pulled her hands away. She coldly replied, "Don't touch me. We're not close." What she didn't expect was that Zheng Xiaoling would resort to her low-level green tea tactics again. With a light touch from Lu Sha, she dramatically fell to the ground with a cry. Jiang Tsuanhao, standing nearby, angrily said, "How could you do this to Xiaoling? Don't you know she's not in good health?" But Zheng Xiaoling pretended to be kind and spoke up for Lu Sha. "I believe she didn't mean it. She just loves you too much." Then, with tears in her eyes, she looked at Lu Sha and said weakly, "But we're about to get engaged. After all, we've been good friends. Please don't hate us anymore." The onlooking classmates, hearing this, all entered gossip mode. They muttered, "So it turns out Yi Lu Sha has a crush on Jiang. How could she hate her best friend because of this?" Her character is really poor. Seeing this scene, Lucia felt extremely indignant and directly retorted, "Haha, my boyfriend is 1.8 meters tall, with long legs, handsome, rich, and from a good family. Why would I need to covet yours?" Zhang angrily took out his phone and continued, "I'll call him to pick me up right now." The infuriated Yi Luxia, in a moment of anger, actually dialed the Duke, Murong Mabai, whose number he had just given her. However, after several rings, no one answered. Another female classmate indirectly criticized her. "Some people just like to make things up. I bet there's no such boyfriend at all." Just then, everyone's eyes were dazzled by a limited edition sports car. They exclaimed that there were only 2 such cars in the whole country. Luxia finally got through to Murong Mabai and hurriedly said, "Hello, I'm done. Can you come pick me up?" As soon as she finished speaking, that cool sports car screeched to a halt in front of her. A deep male voice came through the phone, too slow. "Get in the car." This girl, who just a moment ago was being troubled by her vicious best friend and ex-boyfriend, was now being whisked away in a luxury car in front of everyone. Her classmates, seeing this, incredulously asked her, "Is this car your boyfriend's?" Xia Luxia smiled as she opened the car door. "Sorry, it really is." And standing nearby, her former best friend, who had stolen her boyfriend, also asked, "Aren't you going to introduce us?" Luxia, sitting in the car, rolled down the window and expressionlessly refused her. She said her boyfriend was quite shy, so it was better not to. "I'm leaving first," she said, quickly pulling her head back inside. She thought to herself, if they recognized that this was the man she had forcibly kissed earlier when she lost at Truth or Dare, she would die of embarrassment. As the car drove away, the classmates left behind smelled the expensive car exhaust and remarked, "Why does it feel like Yi Luxia has become so arrogant now?" Meanwhile, Yi Luxia's ex-boyfriend Jiang Cunhao sarcastically said, "This guy must be too ugly to show his face." Zheng Xiaoling beside him also muttered, "It seems Shasha's boyfriend's family background." At this moment, the female classmate who had been stirring things up earlier chimed in, saying, "No matter how good it is, it can't compare to young Master John's car. It's probably just borrowed." Before she could finish speaking, a waiter who walked out interrupted her, addressing Jiang Cunhao, "Young Master Jiang, someone has paid the bill for you all." They said it was on behalf of his fiancée, Yi Luxia. At this moment, the atmosphere among these people instantly froze. "Damn, he caught us again." Meanwhile, in the luxury car that had just left, Yi Luxia was sitting quietly. Neither of them spoke. She seemed to want to say something, but hesitated. She glanced at the wound on the man's lips, her face reddening again. She thought to herself that what happened earlier wasn't an illusion. She nervously pinched her dress, paused for a moment, then hurriedly said, Your Highness, I'm sorry." The red-haired man looked at her, asking, "Why are you apologizing?" Luxia nervously began to explain, "Earlier, I was challenged by some jerk to do a dare. The content was to say I was pregnant and bite lips." Seeing that she had stopped, the man prompted, "So what?" Luxia thought for a moment, then confessed everything. "So I'm not pregnant. Your Highness doesn't need to worry or feel responsible for me. It was just a game earlier. Just made up on the spot." After her explanation, to her surprise, the man simply said "oh," and didn't say anything more. Luxia thought, is it over just like that? Did His Highness not misunderstand at all? Was she the only one overthinking things? She stole another glance at the man's reflection in the car window, thinking it made sense. After all, they were only in a simple arranged marriage relationship. The car drove smoothly on the road. Luxia, tired from her busy night, closed her eyes and fell asleep immediately. Her body unconsciously leaned against Murong Mabai's side. Murong looked at the woman's peaceful sleeping face. He could faintly hear her even breathing. He thought, she's asleep. Is that jerk she mentioned her ex-boyfriend? The female lead, Yi Luxia, groggily woke up on a sofa. She rubbed her eyes, realizing this wasn't her room. It felt unfamiliar. The sound of running water came from the bathroom, as if someone was showering. She worriedly touched herself and sighed in relief. Thankfully, nothing inappropriate had happened. At this moment, the bathroom door opened. Luxia felt nervous and looked up. This tall, well-proportioned, red-haired man walked out. She couldn't help but steal a few glances, thinking to herself, this physique. It's perfect enough to be on a magazine cover. The man walked right past her, sat down on the sofa, and asked Luxia to come over. She obediently walked up to him and asked, "What is it, Your Grace?" This duke, without any hesitation, took out a hair dryer and casually replied, "Help me dry my hair." Luxia took the hair dryer, unconsciously reaching out to touch his hair as she started drying. She didn't expect that despite his cold and dominant appearance, his hair was very fine, soft, and pleasant to touch. As Lucia dried his hair, her mind wandered. She thought randomly, wait, shouldn't I be asking why he didn't take me home? How did I end up becoming his little maid? The man sitting on the sofa with his eyes closed suddenly spoke, asking Lucia if she often helped others dry their hair before. Lucia shook her head. No, you're the first one. The man nodded. Without even realizing it himself, the corners of his mouth turned up slightly upon hearing this. The hair dryer hummed loudly. At this moment, Lucia felt her head was also buzzing. She thought to herself, how embarrassing. Why does he always catch me in my most awkward moments? And it seems like every time I meet him, my brain can't help but tell lies. Will he think I'm stupid and useless? The man's hair quickly dried under the hot air of the hairdryer. Lucia put down the hairdryer and said to him, Your Highness, I've finished drying. I need to go home now. But Muron Mabai grabbed her hand, calmly saying, The driver has gone off duty. This is private property. Outside cars can't come in. If you walk, it'll take over an hour. Hearing this, Lucia anxiously asked, Then, Your Highness, can you take me home? Muron averted his gaze and turned his head, replying, I've been drinking. I can't drive. Lucia didn't quite believe it. She thought, when did he drink? She wanted to get closer to smell if there was any alcohol scent. But unexpectedly, she lost her balance and fell again. She fell right in front of Muron. Muron Mabai caught her and teased, throwing yourself into my arms, huh? Shasha was nervous at this moment, thinking, why do I keep making such a fuss? Muron quickly explained, it's not like that. Your Highness, let me explain. The frightened girl accidentally fell into the arms of a man she had only met for the second time. Unexpectedly, the man teased her about throwing herself into his arms. She hurriedly explained that it was an accident, with no other intention. But this man grabbed her hand and said, explaining is just covering up. He domineeringly leaned close to her ear and said, stay here tonight. When Lucia heard him say to sleep here, her face instantly turned red again. She started overthinking and jumped up, saying hurriedly, no, we can't, Muron Mabai. We can't do that again. Muron Mabai looked at this little rabbit in front of him, whose mind had wandered again, and slowly continued, sleep in a room here. I've already had Mrs. Lin prepare it. He raised an eyebrow at Lucia and smiled. What were you thinking just now? At this moment, Mrs. Lin also came over and said to Lucia, Miss He, the room is ready. Muron Mabai didn't linger any longer. He went down and ruffled her hair, telling her, take a shower and rest well. Then he left. After he left, Shasha's face was still red and she couldn't speak. She thought, this is so embarrassing. Shasha came to the prepared room. The room was exquisite and cozy. She thought, this is clearly a girl's room. Have other girls stayed here before? She shook her head, telling herself, what does it matter to her? She has class tomorrow, better wash up and sleep quickly. A good night's sleep. Shasha didn't know why, but she slept particularly well that night. When she woke up, it was already late. She hurriedly ran down the stairs, thinking, oh no, I'm going to be late. As she came downstairs, she saw Muron Mabai already washed and dressed, elegantly sitting, reading a book and drinking tea. Seeing Shasha's anxious look, he calmly said, I've already called in sick for you. He then asked her, are you planning to go out like this? At this moment, Shasha realized that she had hurriedly gotten out of bed, only thinking about not being late, without realizing she was still in her pajamas. She immediately covered her face in embarrassment, feeling she had made a fool of herself in front of him again. She sheepishly went back to her room to change. Muron Mabai maintained his composure, but inwardly thought this little rabbit was really cute. The girl had just left the Duke's mansion and arrived at school for class, but unexpectedly was stopped by a scheming classmate, accusing her of being her godfather's mistress. Lucia was walking in school, still thinking about last night's events. She thought she'd never have the face to go to the Duke's mansion again. As she was walking normally on the road, she heard the voice of the White Lotus Zheng Shaoling. She thought, why are some people always haunting me? She wanted to pretend she didn't hear and walk past, but was blocked by Zheng Shaoling's follower. The girl ran in front of her and imperiously said, Yi Lucia, what's with your attitude? Are you still resenting us because Xiaolin won't give her boyfriend to you? This Zheng Shaoling also pretended to be pitiful, saying to Lucia, Shasha, I know you blame me, but Sunhao loves you. Don't make a fuss anymore. Love can't be forced. Hearing this, Lucia didn't argue. She continued to ignore them, covering her ears with both hands. Her gaze passed right over them as she said, "Is there a dog barking? It's so noisy." Seeing this, Zheng Xiaolin's follower became angry. She directly pushed her, angrily saying, "You, a kept woman, dare to insult us." In public, she pointed at her nose and said, "You usually wear cheap clothes. How come you're suddenly wearing X3's latest style? You dare say you bought it yourself?" This narrow-minded woman, who saw Liu Sha's boyfriend pick her up in a luxury car last night, was already jealous. Now she just wanted to catch her tail and expose her. Liu Sha heard this woman's words, but was somewhat puzzled. She patted her shoulder where she had been pushed and asked, "What does X-Lala mean?" Seeing that she didn't even understand the brand name, the woman wanted to press her advantage and continued to mock. "I guess I was right. You didn't buy it yourself, did you? I bet the one who picked you up last night wasn't your boyfriend, but your sugar daddy." Zheng Xiaoling, standing nearby, heard this. She was secretly delighted but furrowed her brow, pretending to mediate by saying, "Xiaomei, don't say that. Shasha already said it was her boyfriend." Hearing this, Xiaomei became more excited and continued to speak wildly. "Xiaolin, don't be too kind. If it was really her boyfriend, why didn't she dare to let us meet him yesterday? I bet it's some greasy old man." Hearing this, Liu Sha finally became angry. Her face darkened, and she said in an unfriendly tone, "What did you say?" The students on the road, hearing these two talking loudly without regard for face, also heard and started discussing. They thought that girl Liu Sha is actually a mistress. She's really bringing shame to our university. Amidst the chaos, a male voice interrupted, so noisy. This voice came from above them. The three of them looked up at the sound. It was him. Just as the girl was being gossiped about, a handsome guy's voice came from the tree to her rescue. He said to the two troubling Liu Sha, "Why do you need to see someone else's boyfriend? Who are you to her? Why must you see him? Who are you to her?" At this moment, Xiaomei, who was pressuring Liu Sha, looked up. This person turned out to be the handsome Dongfang Wuji. She was instantly captivated. She hurriedly tried to explain, "Dongfang, you don't understand. Last night, Liu Sha." Her words were cut off halfway. Dongfang didn't want to waste words with this woman. He looked at her and said, "Li classmate, are you very free? Class is about to start." Zheng Xiaoling, behind Li Xiaomei, also realized the time. She pushed her, saying, "We should go to class. Let's not leave a bad impression on the teacher." As the two left, Liu Sha was still a bit angry. She snorted, but didn't forget to turn to Dongfang Wuji, who was leaning against a tree, and say, "Thank you." Dongfang then got up from the tree and jumped down. He casually said, "They disturbed my sleep." Walking closer to Liu Sha, he smiled and added, "Also, there's another point. Considering we're playing the same game." Liu Sha thought the same game. He must mean that popular campus game, Ultimate Glory. He probably saw her playing with classmates before. Then Dongfang continued, "I play too. Let's play together next time." Hearing this, Liu Sha blinked. She proudly replied, "Then I'll carry you next time. I'm very good, just a bit below the game masters. Dongfang is a bit weaker. I'll help you soar next time." Dongfang Wuji heard this and chuckled lightly. He waved goodbye and went to class, leaving behind a sentence, "Then I'll rely on you to carry me next time." At this time, the female lead, because she hadn't had her period for 2 weeks, secretly went to the hospital for a pregnancy test. But unexpectedly, once she entered the clinic, she was troubled by a balding doctor. He started charging her before even doing the examination. This seemingly grand and official big hospital was forcefully trying to sell her a 9,999 yuan all-inclusive package. She realized something was wrong and wanted to escape, only to find that she had been locked inside. A sinister nurse blocked her with a fake smile, saying it was hospital policy that once you enter, you can't leave without an examination. This story started a few hours earlier. Liu Sha had just finished class and was preparing to go back. On the way, someone handed her a small card for free pregnancy tests at Venus Hospital. It was then that she realized she hadn't had her period for 2 weeks. She became worried. On impulse, she returned to the dorm and asked her roommate to accompany her to the hospital. This roommate seemed like an honest girl. She didn't ask many questions and just went with her. Arriving at the hospital entrance, she finally asked Rusha in shock, "This hospital is the one advertised by teachers at the school entrance. Could it be that Shasha is pregnant?" Seeing that he had noticed, Liu Sha quickly covered his mouth and said, Wei Wei, you were too loud just now. What if someone heard? I'm not sure yet, so I just want to check quietly." Wei Wei was shocked by her words. Who could be so heartless to do this to Liu Sha? things had come to this, and he wasn't even accompanying her to the police. As they were talking, unexpectedly, Liu Sha's figure was spotted by a handsome guy on the second floor. This person was the good friend of that heartless man Wei Wei mentioned. Incite happened to be investigating this hospital. He didn't expect such a pleasant surprise. He thought, isn't this the girl Mo Bai left us all for that day? To find his little girlfriend. He didn't expect to stumble upon her by chance. Smelling gossip in the air, he thought, this woman coming to this hospital for a checkup behind Mo Bai's back. If he finds out, it'll be quite a show. Liu Sha entered the doctor's office. Her roommate Wei Wei was stopped outside by a nurse, unable to accompany her. Upon entering, she saw a balding doctor sitting there. He flipped through Liu Sha's medical record, asking, haven't had your period for a while. Then there's a high chance you're pregnant. Liu Sha was stunned. She felt it was absurd. She asked the balding doctor, you're concluding without even doing an examination. At this moment, the doctor didn't speak. His eyes just darkened. The nurse beside him gave a secret signal. Liu Sha then realized this hospital wasn't quite right. She wanted to leave but found the door locked. The nurse approached her, directly trying to restrain her. The balding Dr. Jia pushed up his glasses and said sinisterly, take her in, undress her for the examination, then take several photos. Let's see if she still dares not to pay for our package. This bald doctor from the unethical hospital actually wanted the nurse to drag the girl inside for photos, using this to extort her into buying an expensive package. Liu Sha struggled against two nurses. At this moment, she only wanted to break free quickly, bang on the door, and alert someone outside to save her. She finally managed to break free from their hands, but was then grabbed by this greasy, bald fake doctor. He was choking her throat. She couldn't breathe, and her consciousness began to blur. She thought, is she really going to be trapped here today? She gradually lost strength, her vision darkening. Just then, with a bang, the door was pushed open. Someone came in shouting her name. Liu Sha was being choked and couldn't speak. She even thought she was hallucinating. How could she be hearing Murong Mo Bai's voice? Murong burst through the door and saw Liu Sha being held by this bald man. He immediately became furious. Damn it, he swung a punch directly at him. The bald doctor was knocked unconscious on the ground. Murong Mo Bai held Liu Sha in his arms, stroking her and saying, don't be afraid. I'm here. Liu Sha's eyes were a bit hazy. It really was him who came. Murong Mo Bai's eyes now were so cold they seemed capable of killing. He turned back and shouted sternly at the bodyguards he brought. Make Venus Hospital disappear immediately. The bodyguards he brought stood in a neat row and replied in unison, yes, Your Highness. This farce finally came to an end. Liu Sha didn't forget to thank Murong Mo Bai. Thank you, Your Highness. But hearing this, Murong Mo Bai remained silent. He frowned slightly. He saw red, swollen marks on Liu Sha's neck where that doctor had choked her. His heart was both upset and aching. He directly picked her up in a princess carry, saying decisively, you're injured. We're going home. Liu Sha was carried out like this. Her roommate Lu Wei saw her finally coming out. She asked worriedly Sha what happened. Who are these people? Murong Mo Bai's assistant stopped her and explained on Liu Sha's behalf. Miss Lu Wei, this is actually an illegal clinic. They use various promotional methods to attract customers. When innocent women come for checkups, they use various tactics to trick them into forced consumption. The unethical doctors here even take advantage of examinations to secretly take compromising photos to blackmail victims later. And the victims, unwilling to involve the authorities due to the sensitive nature, don't report it. Shasha's roommate Lu Wei quickly thanked them for saving her friend Liu Sha, but she felt a bit embarrassed being carried by Muro. She wanted him to put her down to talk, but this duke refused to let go. He insisted on taking Liu Sha back with him. Liu Sha, thinking about how she was just rescued, felt somewhat displeased. She agreed, saying, all right, I'll go back with you. Turning to her roommate Lu Wei, worried she might be concerned, she said, I'll go back with His Highness first. Murong Mo Bai's assistant, seeing that Lu Wei was still uneasy, continued to explain, His Highness knows Miss Ye's elders. Don't worry. At this time, a crowd had gathered at the entrance of the gynecology hospital, creating quite a scene. People nearby came to watch the drama unfold. Coincidentally, the woman who had been giving Lu Sha a hard time was passing by with two of her followers. They stopped in their tracks. Initially thinking there was nothing interesting to see at this commoner's hospital, they spotted Lu Sha's roommate Lu Wei being escorted out of the hospital by a man. It's worth noting that although Zheng Xiaoling appeared friendly on the surface, she always saw Lu Sha as a thorn in her side. By chance, one of Zheng Xiaoling's followers witnessed this scene. She remembered this hospital specialized in obstetrics and gynecology. She never expected Lu Wei to come to a gynecology hospital with a man. As expected of someone sharing a dorm with Lu Sha, they've mastered the art of seducing men. She thought this dirt had just fallen in her lap effortlessly. Smiling smugly, she wouldn't easily let go of this opportunity that presented itself. She took out her phone and sent a text to her informant, asking them to check the records of patients who visited Venus Hospital today. Meanwhile, Yi Lu Sha, who had narrowly escaped danger at Venus Hospital, was rescued and comforted by Murong Mo Bai. They arrived at his mansion. Murong was still worried about Lu Sha's injuries. Only after summoning 4 doctors and being told Missy was not seriously hurt did he feel relieved. He instructed the housekeeper to prepare hot water and clothes for Lu Sha. The female housekeeper accepted the instructions and soon came back to report. At this time, Murong Mo Bai was sitting quietly, lost in thought. The housekeeper's words interrupted his reverie. Earlier, we had custom clothes made for Miss Yi. They've all just been delivered. As soon as she finished speaking, Lu Sha unexpectedly walked out herself. Murong looked up at the sound. For a moment, he was stunned. Lu Sha was wearing a light blue gown, elegant yet pure. She shyly asked in a soft voice, "Your Highness, why this kind of dress?" But Murong seemed not to have heard her words. He stared at her directly. After a while, he came back to his senses. Realizing he coughed twice. The female housekeeper, seeing this, came over to explain. She asked Lu Sha, "Miss Yi, did you take the wrong clothes?" In the rush, the newly made gown was mixed up with the clothes prepared for you. Hearing this, Lu Sha thought she had embarrassed herself again. Rubbing her head sheepishly, she said, I see. Then I'll go back and change." She turned to go back to the room to change, but was held back by Murong Mo Bai, who said, "Wait." Lu Sha turned back, looking at him with some confusion. At this moment, seeing Lu Sha's innocent eyes blinking, the Duke holding her hand also became a bit shy. His tone softened as he gently said to Lu Sha, "Don't go to outside hospitals in the future." The girl could never have imagined that this domineering and cold Duke would suddenly kneel on one knee and propose to her. At this moment, the man's eyes were as gentle as water, looking straight at her. Lu Sha's heart raced. Was this the legendary romantic proposal scene? It's worth noting that just a second ago, she was worriedly explaining to the man that she went to the hospital for a checkup fearing an accident, worried that the incident from that day might trouble this Duke. Although her heart was racing, she feared the man was just acting on impulse. Just as she was about to speak to confirm, the man continued gently, "I will take responsibility for you." At this moment, Lu Sha, hearing these words, wasn't moved at all. Instead, her heart sank. Responsibility. Could it be that this man was proposing just to take responsibility? Lu Sha withdrew her hand from his. She replied, "What I want is not responsibility, but..." She paused, not continuing. In her heart, she thought what she wanted was someone who truly liked her. But saying these words to a Duke she had only met a few times through arranged dates seemed unnecessary. Murong Mo Bai tried to reach out to her again, asking in confusion, "Aren't you worried? Why don't you want me to take responsibility?" Hearing this, Lu Sha felt even more hurt. Tears began to roll down her face. Indeed, he was only worried about the possibility of a child. Otherwise, why would he truly want to marry her? Seeing this, Murong Mo Bai furrowed his brows, remaining silent. After a moment, he stood up from the ground, his tone becoming calm. He sighed and said, "I understand." Lu Sha, sensing the heavy atmosphere, wiped away her tears and said to the man, "Your Highness, it's getting late. I think I should return to school." Unexpectedly, Murong simply turned his back to her, grunted in acknowledgement, and said nothing more. Lu Sha was taken aback, thinking he had agreed so quickly. Although she had guessed that the Duke was just acting on impulse, why did she feel an inexplicable sense of loss rising in her heart? Lu Sha got out of the Duke's luxury car. The night was deep. Walking alone on the street, she thought about buying a pregnancy test. After all, she needed to confirm if she was pregnant. Unexpectedly, her drunk ex-boyfriend saw her. He walked up behind her and patted her shoulder. Suddenly, a strong smell of alcohol hit her. Lu Sha turned around in fear, shouting, "Who is it?" The man grabbed Lu Sha and questioned her sternly. "Who was that man who dropped you off?" Lu Sha finally recognized the man's face. "Zhang Siyuan Hao, let go." She was annoyed. This guy was hurting her. What did he want? Zhang Siyuan Hao, swaying drunkenly, shook his head. "I won't let go," he said, starting to act wildly drunk. He even used both hands to hold Lu Sha, loudly asking her, "Quick, tell me who that man was who dropped you off. Tell me." Lu Sha looked displeased and asked, "Classmate Jiang, what's our relationship?" "My business is none of your concern, right?" The drunk man was momentarily stumped by the question. He hurriedly explained, After all, we're still friends." Lu Sha scoffed upon hearing this. She angrily said, "Friends who sleep with my best friend while we're dating. I'd rather not have such friends." She glared at him fiercely and continued, "The less I see you two, the less nauseated I'll be." Unexpectedly, Jiang Siyuan Hao became furious upon hearing this. He yelled at Lu Sha, "Lu Sha, shut up." He reached out and forcefully grabbed her chin. Lowering his head, he tried to forcibly kiss her. Lu Sha couldn't take it anymore. With a loud slap, she struck him across the face. She told him, "Don't make me despise you even more." She turned to leave. Although she appeared strong on the outside, inside she was incredibly hurt. She continued speaking to him. "Don't act like you're the victim. You were the one who cheated." Lu Sha didn't look back. Gritting her teeth and holding back tears, she quickened her pace. She thought, "What is this? He clearly chose someone else. Now he's acting like this." This scene was witnessed by Zheng Xiaoling and her friend. Zheng Xiaoling, looking at the corner she had dug out, pretended to be pitiful with tears in her eyes. Her friend, who was being used as a pawn, saw this and comforted her, saying, "Don't worry, I'll make sure that bad woman Yi Lu Sha disappears completely." At this moment, the girl was sitting on her bed, silently crying due to the series of tragic events that had happened today. She was interrupted by Ding Lingling's phone call. With tear-filled eyes, she picked up the phone without looking and answered, "Hello." Unexpectedly, the man on the other end of the phone detected something was wrong. A magnetic male voice came through the phone. "What's wrong? Have you been crying?" Lu Sha finally recognized who it was. "Your Highness." She quickly explained, "No, I haven't been crying. I just have a cold, so my voice sounds a bit off." After she finished speaking, the other end of the phone suddenly went silent. She didn't know whether to hang up or not on the Duke's call. She didn't know whether to hang up or not. After a while, there was still no sound. She thought, forget it, put the phone aside, closed her eyes, and fell asleep. 10 minutes later, she heard the man's voice on the phone again. He grunted, sleepy-eyed and a bit dazed, not quite reacting yet. Then she heard the man's voice louder. "I'm downstairs. You have 3 seconds to come down." Lu Sha finally woke up completely. She hurriedly ran down. However, after looking around downstairs for a while, she couldn't see him anywhere. She got a bit annoyed. She thought Murong Mo might be playing a trick on her. She snorted, muttering, "This bastard really is." But the man approaching from behind her heard it. He suddenly picked her up horizontally. Lu Sha, embarrassed and angry, struggled and said, "Bastard, let me go." Unexpectedly, the man actually let go and put her down. Then he frowned and asked her who was just calling someone a bastard. Should she continue? Lu Sha scratched her head, laughed awkwardly, and tried to smooth things over. "Which little brat dares to say that about your highness?" Hearing this, Murong Mo hooked her chin and teased, "Yeah, which little brat?" He leaned in closer to her again. Lu Sha saw the man's head coming closer, thinking he was going to kiss her again. She worriedly explained, "Your Highness, there are cameras here." But when she opened her eyes, Murong was looking at her with an ambiguous smile. "What about the cameras? What did you think I was going to do?" It turned out he had just reached out to remove a leaf from Lu Sha's head. Lu Sha's face turned even redder. She mumbled, asking him what he came for. Murong smiled and replied, "Didn't you say you had a cold? Go back, take your medicine, and rest early." At this point, Lu Sha was too embarrassed to say anything more. She took the bag from his hand and ran away without looking back. Murong watched her shy retreat, unable to suppress the smile that appeared on his face. Now back in her dorm room preparing to sleep, the girl felt a bit dizzy before bed. She tossed and turned, her mind wandering. The scenes of her previous encounters with the man kept replaying in her mind for some reason. She couldn't help but ask herself, does Murong Mo really like me? But why her? There were so many beautiful and talented girls around him. Why would he choose her? She didn't know how long she had been thinking about this. It wasn't until morning that she was woken up by her roommate Lu Wei's voice. Unexpectedly, her thoughtful roommate had bought a pregnancy test for her. The thing she was worried about could be resolved with a simple test. No matter where, the women's restroom is always the busiest place. Lu Sha and Lu Wei went to the restroom to take the pregnancy test. Unexpectedly, they were caught red-handed by the malicious woman who had always been giving her trouble. She must have heard some rumors. Pointing at Lu Sha, she started shouting, "Everyone come look! A female college student pregnant before marriage." The women in the restroom all became gossips upon hearing this, discussing among themselves. Lu Sha stepped forward to confront the troublemaker. "What are you talking about?" But the woman pulled out her phone, confidently saying, "If there weren't pictures and evidence here, we'd all be fooled by you, wouldn't we?" She continued to shout loudly, "Everyone go check her school forum. Female college students going to illegal clinics for abortions together. It's truly disgraceful to our school." Photos of Lu Sha's hospital visit that day had even been circulated online. Before long, this incident caused an uproar throughout the school. Lu Sha and Lu Wei were called to the school office for a talk. The director slammed the table angrily, saying, "You two girls, how dare you do such a thing to ruin the school's reputation? How can you face the school? Face your parents. Do you know that in the old days, you would have been put in pig cages for this?" Hearing this, Lu Wei argued defiantly, "The content online is fabricated. Why don't you investigate that?" Before she could finish, the director pointed at her nose and interrupted. He impatiently said, "Fine, fine, fine. You dare to talk back? Looks like we'll have to expel both of you." Lu Sha thought to herself that this director, having reached this position, wouldn't usually handle things so carelessly. Could he have been bribed? She immediately took out her phone, intending to threaten him with calling the police to have impartial people investigate the truth. Hearing this, the school director was startled, but then thought it impossible. With the photographic evidence and assurances from those who had bribed him, he retorted to Lu Sha, "The evidence is conclusive. Miss Yi, do you still dare say you didn't go to that hospital?" At this moment, a man's voice came from somewhere, saying, "Miss Yi did indeed go." Hearing this, the school director was secretly delighted to have backup. He laughed, "Ha ha ha, it's true indeed." The man walked up to them. Surprisingly, it was Murong Mo Bai. The two girls had just been scolded harshly by the director. Unexpectedly, a domineering man suddenly burst in with his followers. At this moment, the director was sternly questioning Lu Sha and her roommate Lu Wei. "You two female college students disregarded the school's ban and went to an illegal clinic to abort a child. Even if the police come, they can't do anything. I'm going to expel you both." Unexpectedly, the police officer brought by Murong Mo Bai interrupted. Missy did go to the illegal clinic, but it was to expose their wrongdoings. The director was stunned upon hearing this. "Officer, are you sure you're not mistaken?" Just as he was trying to process this, the police officer went to Lu Sha and apologized, thanking her for her service to the community. He also assured her that they would seriously deal with the online rumors. To the director's surprise, Murong Mo Bai had brought the school principal. Seeing the director who had been used as a pawn, the principal was furious. He immediately slapped the director across the face. After slapping him, he quickly turned to Murong Mo Bai, who looked displeased, and apologized profusely. "Your Highness, please don't be upset. How could we possibly expel your fiancé?" The director was even more shocked upon hearing this. "Your Highness, could he be the Duke of Chujun, Luoi?" He suddenly felt dizzy. "I just scolded the future princess." He thought, "It's over. It's too late. It's all because of that Lee student who instigated and bribed me." His career was finished. With the matter resolved, Murong Mo Bai walked to Lu Sha, who had just had a close call, and caressed her face. He comforted her, "With me here, everything's fine now." Lu Sha looked up at Murong's handsome face. Such a proud person, yet so gentle with her. His eyes gazed at her lovingly. He feared she might suffer even the slightest grievance. Lu Sha felt a warmth in her heart and softly replied to the caring man, "I'm not afraid." But Murong Mo Bai, who was just speaking gently to Lu Sha a moment ago, suddenly darkened his expression. He said to the police, "As far as I know, this director must have accepted bribes from students and abused his power to falsely accuse my fiancé. You should take him back for investigation." The once arrogant director was thus taken away. Then Murong turned back to the principal with a meaningful look and said, "You know what to do next, right?" After saying this, he left with Lu Sha. As Murong Mo Bai walked through the campus, he naturally attracted countless gazes. Passing students whispered, "This unfamiliar male student is so handsome. It's just a pity that his girlfriend is so ordinary." Lu Sha, being pulled along by him, suddenly felt a hint of loneliness in her heart. She thought, "It's as if we're really a couple, but we're actually nothing yet." Thinking this, she pulled her hand away from Murong's grasp. Murong Mo sensed something was off and turned to ask Lu Sha. Lu Sha, hearing him, hastily replied, "Your Highness, thank you." What she didn't expect was, after hearing her thanks, the man lowered his head and whispered in her ear, "How do you plan to thank me?" With the man so close, Lu Sha suddenly found it hard to breathe. She pushed him away and wanted to dash off. Hurriedly, she left with a quick, "I'll cook for you tomorrow night to show my gratitude." Murong Mo smiled, thinking, "Is she inviting me to her place?" After Lu Sha ran off, Murong Mo's phone rang. The person on the phone reported, "Your Highness, we've caught the person who slandered the princess. How should we handle it?" Murong Montak listened, coldly replying, "Make them publicly apologize to Yi Lu Sha." His gaze suddenly turned even colder as he continued, "If they're unwilling, then sell them off." Unexpectedly, the Duke appeared in the supermarket, accompanying her to buy groceries. At this moment, Lu Sha was pushing a shopping cart through the supermarket, considering whether to ask Murong Mo what flavors he liked, as she had promised to cook for him as thanks. She had just taken out her phone, intending to message Murong Mo to ask what dishes he liked, when she heard a man's voice near her ear. "As long as you make it, I'll like it." Lu Sha was startled by the familiar voice. Before she could look up, she bumped into the man with an "Oh." Seeing Lu Sha's dazed expression, Murong Mo leaned down and teased, "Are you in such a hurry to throw yourself into my arms?" Lu Sha looked up and met Murong Mo's gaze. She involuntarily blushed again and asked him, somewhat puzzled, "Your Highness, why are you here?" Hearing her words, the man naturally pulled Lu Sha close and said gently, "I came to accompany you shopping." Meeting the man's tender gaze, Lu Sha couldn't help but feel a bit dazed. She suddenly remembered the question her roommate asked her this morning, whether she loved him or not. And this question, in fact, she herself was a bit confused about. Thinking of this, Lu Sha became flustered. She ran off, saying to Murong, "Your Highness, I'm going to buy some seasonings over there." Murong Mo, seeing her hurried and somewhat shy manner, didn't understand why Lu Sha suddenly ran off. At this moment, the panicked Lu Sha didn't even look where she was going and ran to a shelf. Thinking about how she was just lost in thought earlier, her head felt a bit dizzy and her heart was pounding. She just wanted to calm down first. Unexpectedly, Murong Mo followed her and, looking at her back, asked puzzledly, "Weren't you going to buy seasonings? Why are you here?" Lu Sha now felt flustered whenever she saw this man and couldn't speak properly. She stammered, Yes, that's right. Isn't this it?" She hastily grabbed a box from the shelf in front of her. She showed it to Murong Mo. "This is the seasoning." Murong took the small box and looked at it, raising an eyebrow without replying. "Are you sure?" He smiled ambiguously. He continued, "I thought we were just having a simple meal." Only then did Lu Sha clearly see the box in his hand. It was some kind of adult safety product, strawberry flavored at that. She had made such a big blunder again. She immediately froze, utterly embarrassed. She hurriedly explained, "No, Your Highness, you misunderstood." The drunk man glared fiercely at the couple on the street. Secretly watching the two chatting and laughing, he felt extremely bitter and jealous. He clenched his fists. He muttered to himself, Sha, you belong only to me." At night, Lu Sha and Murong Mo finished shopping at the supermarket and left. Lu Sha invited Murong Mo to her home for dinner. As soon as they arrived, she started bustling about. Murong Mo watched Lu Sha's busy figure. He thought this warm feeling was really nice. The man patiently watched Lu Sha wearing an apron, darting back and forth in the kitchen, seeing her small stature, short in height, trying to reach for the chili sauce on the top shelf but unable to reach it. He directly walked up behind her, intending to help her get it down. Lu Sha suddenly felt the man's closeness behind her. Her mind froze a bit. This familiar scent made her heart race again. She turned around and stammered, "Why, Your Highness? Why are you here?" But she forgot she was still holding the spatula in her hand. It directly smeared onto Murong Mo's clothes along with her. Lu Sha realized something was wrong. She immediately apologized. "I'm sorry, Your Highness. I didn't mean to." She thought, "Oh no, this clothes must be very expensive. She can't afford to compensate for it." Before the man could speak, she took out a cloth and rubbed hard, trying to salvage the situation. However, the shirt was thin, and she could feel the man's body heat through the fabric. Her mind inexplicably began to wander, but she didn't expect Murong Mo Bai to say, "Have you touched enough?" Lu Sha, like a little white rabbit, was immediately mortified upon hearing this. She hurriedly ran away, saying to him, "I'll go find you a change of clothes." Hearing this, the man asked puzzledly, "You have men's clothes at your home?" Lu Sha now didn't dare to open up at all, just threw a sentence at Murong, "My dad's clothes, nothing else." The man then ran into the room and closed the door. After a moment of silence, Lu Sha still hadn't recovered. Heart palpitating, chest tight, she thought, "Oh God, get a grip. Yi Lu Sha, what were you doing just now?" The night was deep, and only Lu Sha was in the room. It was extremely quiet. At this moment, there was no other sound, only the thump, thump, thump of the girl's heartbeat echoing in the room. The man she met through a blind date turned out to be her ex-boyfriend's uncle. Lu Sha could never have imagined Zhang Xiyuan Hao actually knew Murong Mo Bai, and moreover, they were blood-related. At this moment, because she had stained Murong's shirt earlier, Lu Sha was in the room helping him find a replacement shirt. Unexpectedly, Murong Mo Bai walked in shirtless. He hadn't expected Lu Sha to take so long to get a shirt, and the wait had become a bit long. As he entered, he asked why she was taking so long. Seeing the man's bare upper body, Lu Sha was momentarily stunned. Her mind seemed to wander inexplicably, and some strange images suddenly flashed through her mind. Her face flushed slightly. Murong Mo Bai saw Lu Sha standing still, staring straight at him. He waved his hand in front of her eyes. He said with a half-smile, "Have you seen enough?" Only then did Lu Sha snap back to reality, realizing she had been lost in thought again. Suddenly, from outside the room came a rapid, urgent knocking sound. A voice shouted angrily, "Sha Sha, open the door. Open the door now. I know there's a man in there with you." The conversation between the two was suddenly interrupted by this discordant voice. Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai asked somewhat reluctantly, "Is it some random guy?" Lu Sha quickly shook her head, handed him the clothes, and explained, "It's my ex-boyfriend's voice." "Your Highness, how could it be some random guy? Don't be angry." She gestured for Murong Mo Bai to put on his clothes, saying she would go out first. She was about to open the door for the man outside, but Murong grabbed her hand. He leaned against the wall with his right arm, somewhat domineeringly close to Lu Sha, and said, "Since it's your ex-boyfriend, just ignore him." Lu Sha saw Murong Mo Bai continue to lean in closer, seemingly with no intention of stopping. She nervously replied, "No, it's not like that. I think my ex-boyfriend might not be mentally stable. I'm afraid he might cause trouble if he gets agitated." But unexpectedly, in an instant, Murong Mo Bai kissed her lips again. Lu Sha could no longer speak. She closed her eyes, feeling somewhat nervous. And for some reason, a bitter feeling suddenly rose in her heart. Does she love him? No, this can't be. Lu Sha forcefully broke free from his grasp. She pushed the man in front of her away. She leaned close and whispered, "Your Highness, we are nothing to each other. We can't do this." Her voice unconsciously trembled slightly. Murong Mo Bai, seeing her panic state, suddenly felt a bit of heartache. He frowned and said to her, "Silly girl." Lu Sha continued to call out, "Your Highness," wanting to say more, but was interrupted again by the man outside, shouting furiously. That person yelled impatiently, "Yi Lu Sha, what are you dawdling for? If you don't open the door, I won't be polite." The atmosphere between the two inside the room suddenly froze. Hearing this, Lu Sha said to Murong Mo Bai, "Your Highness, I'll be right back," and turned to walk towards the door. She opened the door. Her ex-boyfriend, Zhang Xiyuan Hao, was squatting right in front of the door. His eyes seemed somewhat pitiful as he called out to Lu Sha, "Sha Sha." He stood up and continued, "Sha Sha, don't leave me," and tried to lunge towards Lu Sha. Seeing the man's actions, Lu Sha took a step back. She replied, "Zhang Xiyuan Hao, you're drunk." Zhang Xiyuan Hao's face darkened. He said to Lu Sha, displeased, "I see you brought some random guy home. Is it because of him that you left me?" He grew angrier as he spoke and tried to walk into the room, saying, "I want to see who he is." But unexpectedly, when Zhang Xiyuan Hao entered the room, his eyes met with Murong Mo Bai's. He was somewhat dumbfounded. He incredulously asked, "Uncle." Lu Sha was also shocked by this. "What, uncle? The drunk man couldn't believe that his uncle was involved with his ex-girlfriend. His head was throbbing, and his body swayed, controlled by alcohol. Suddenly, he collapsed on the ground with a thud. Seeing this, Murong Mobai and Lu Sha had no choice but to take this drunk young Master Jiang to the hospital first. They finally managed to get the drunk man into the car. The car drove smoothly on the road. For a moment, the atmosphere in the car was somewhat awkward. Lu Sha, sitting in the car, thought to herself, "Your Highness looks so upset just now. Is he angry on behalf of Jiang Cun Hao? After all, they are relatives." Unexpectedly, the man who had just passed out now struggled to wake up. He grabbed Lu Sha's hand, mumbling repeatedly, "Sha Sha, Sha Sha. I love you. Don't leave me." Lu Sha tried to break free, seeing that Jiang Cun Hao was about to kiss her. At this moment, Murong Mo Bai witnessed everything through the rearview mirror. Angrily, he slammed on the brakes. As the car was speeding, there was a sudden collective awe. Both of them hit the car. Jiang Cun Hao passed out again, and Lu Sha also cried out in pain, holding her head. Before she could react, Murong Mo Bai pulled her out of the car. The man's voice was tinged with anger as he shouted at Lu Sha, "Get out of the car." In the urgency of the moment, Murong Mo Bai's hand gripped Lu Sha tightly. He unexpectedly threw Lu Sha to the side. But to Lu Sha's surprise, Murong Mo Bai said nothing, turned around, and was about to get in the car to leave. Lu Sha called out to his back, "Your Highness, are you angry?" Murong Mo Bai, without turning back, replied coldly, "I'll take him to the hospital." He slammed the car door and drove away with Jiang Cun Hao, leaving Lu Sha standing there. As she watched the car speed away, she thought His Highness is really angry. Later that night, back in her dorm, Lu Sha was angrily playing games to distract herself. Suddenly, her phone rang. Lu Sha's heart raced. She thought it must be His Highness calling. But when she picked up the phone, she was disappointed. It was her father. She answered rudely, "Hey, old man, aren't you supposed to be living it up abroad? How do you have time to call me?" At that moment, Lu Sha's father, Yi Bo Hai, who was enjoying himself somewhere unknown, was holding a cigarette and said, "Daughter, I need you to attend a charity gala on my behalf soon." Lu Sha immediately blurted out, "I won't go." But unexpectedly, her father offered her 10 million in one swift move, on the condition that she help him auction off an item. Hearing this, Lu Sha was shocked but agreed. After hanging up, she stared blankly at Murong Mo Bai's Chatatefas. Feeling dejected, she sighed, "Our love makes people crazy." A few days later, the charity gala began. Lu Sha casually wore a tracksuit to the event, thinking she'd quickly complete her father's task and then leave. Unexpectedly, she ran into her troublesome female classmate at the gala, who mocked her attire, suggesting she might have sneaked in. Hearing this, Lu Sha defiantly asked, "And what gives you the right to be here?" The woman, angered, continued to taunt Lu Sha, "I'm representing the Li family. Were you to be here? You're nobody." Lu Sha thought, this woman is about to start her usual nonsense, and didn't want to engage. But Miss Li escalated the situation, raising her voice to attract attention. She began publicly slandering Lu Sha's character, accusing her of being there to find a rich husband. This caused a stir among the onlookers. Lu Sha couldn't take it anymore. She turned and pulled out her father's invitation, saying, "I'm here representing Yi Bo Hai." The malicious woman laughed scornfully, mocking Lu Sha for lying so blatantly. She leaned in and whispered, "Oh my, Yi Lu Sha, are you perhaps Yi Bo Hai's illegitimate child from abroad? Ha, how shameless." The other guests, hearing this, began whispering and pointing at Lu Sha. Hurtful comments kept coming. Lu Sha's face darkened. She clenched her fist and swung at the malicious woman's face, gritting her teeth. "Shut that foul mouth of yours." The woman, covering her face after being hit, exclaimed, "How dare you hit me, Yi Lu Sha?" Lu Sha fiercely replied, "If your mouth keeps spewing filth, I'll hit you again next time." She snorted coldly and turned to leave without a care. Suddenly, a man's voice came from the hallway, sounding amused, interesting. Lu Sha was startled by this familiar voice. Could it be? At that moment, the Duke made his grand entrance. As the future heir, All the attendees marveled. The Duke is truly dignified and handsome. So dashing. Lu Sha, from a corner, secretly looked at the most eye-catching man in the crowd. She thought about how Murong Mo Bai seemed upset the last time because of Jiang Xiyuan Hao and hadn't contacted her since. Feeling a bit dejected, she thought, what if he's still angry? I'd better leave first. She turned to exit the place. Unexpectedly, she was grabbed from behind by the Duke. Murong Mo Bai's tone was a bit displeased. He frowned and asked Lu Sha, what do you understand? Lu Sha turned to look at the man and was momentarily stunned. Her thoughts wandered, thinking how exquisite his face was captivating to look at. Just as she was about to speak, her malicious female classmates suddenly interrupted. This woman approached Murong Mo Bai, eagerly greeting him and introducing herself. I'm Lu Sha's friend. I'm Qi Xing from Li Shi Jewelry. My name is Li Misha. She even extended her hand towards Murong Mo Bai's side, continuing, if you don't mind, I can accompany you to the banquet. Before she could finish, Murong Mo Bai mercilessly interrupted her. The man avoided her scheming hand. Is tonight's banquet so low class that they invite just anyone? He directly bypassed Li Misha in front of him, came to Lu Sha's side, looked down in her eyes, and said softly, if this young lady could accompany me to enter, it wouldn't be a wasted trip. Immediately, a wave of hushed, envious voices spread. Wow, who is this girl? She actually gained the Duke's favor. Murong Mo Bai ignored these whispers and continued to lean closer to Lu Sha, raising an eyebrow teasingly. Are you thinking strange things in your head again? Lu Sha, caught red-handed, immediately blushed. She quickly bit her lip, denying and wanting to explain. But unexpectedly, Murong directly took her arm. And just like that, he led her into the venue. The plainly dressed girl actually called out a high price of 10 million to bid on a ring. As the charity gala began, Lu Sha entered arm in arm with Murong Mo Bai. Unexpectedly, they ran into her recent ex-boyfriend, Jiang Xiyuan Hao. At this moment, his girlfriend Jing Xiao Lian also came to attend the gala. Seeing this, Jiang Xiyuan Hao sarcastically said to Murong Mo Bai, is this your date? How could she come dressed like that? Murong Mo Bai's expression darkened upon hearing this. Why are they everywhere? He turned, not wanting to deal with this fool, and grabbed Lu Sha's hand to leave. Being pulled along, Lu Sha felt a bit upset. Why did her ex-boyfriend Jiang Xiyuan Hao's appearance always make her feel so embarrassed? A sudden bitterness rose in her heart. If she wanted to start a new life, she had to distance herself from everything related to him, including his uncle, Murong Mo Bai. Thinking of this, Lu Sha pulled her hand from the man's tight grip. She said softly, you go ahead. The man, hearing this, incredulously questioned, say that again. Lu Sha lowered her head, not daring to look at him. Weakly, she said, Your Highness, please go ahead. At this moment, the man clenched his fist tightly. The usually proud Duke, who had repeatedly lowered himself and cared attentively, only to find that some people simply didn't care. Murong Mo Bai thought to himself, I must be crazy. He wouldn't let you Lu Sha trample on him like this. Without looking back, he left first. The auction began after these unpleasant little incidents. The diamond ring now on stage was the one Yi Lu Sha's father, Yi Bo Hai, had entrusted her to auction. This ring was from a renowned jeweler, 1 in a million. Zheng Xiaolian, nestled in Jiang Xiyuan Hao's arms, saw it and exclaimed, coquettishly saying they just needed an engagement ring. Unexpectedly, Lu Sha directly raised her paddle to bid. She called out 1 million. Hearing Lu Sha's voice, Zheng Xiaolian turned and scornfully asked her, not only do you steal my man, now you're trying to steal the ring too. Jiang Xiyuan Hao chimed in, what do you need a ring for when you're alone? Lu Sha's eyes turned cold. She sternly replied to the despicable couple, is there a law that says I can't buy a ring for myself? Hearing this, Jiang Xiyuan Hao became even more displeased. He directly raised his paddle to compete with her in the auction. In no time, under their bidding, the ring's price increased several times, directly rising to 5 million. At this moment, Jiang Xiyuan Hao maliciously turned back, smiled at Lu Sha, and said, Yi Lu Sha, don't bite off more than you can chew. But he didn't expect Lu Sha to frown upon hearing this, and continued to raise the price. She directly stood up, raised her paddle, and shouted, 10 million. 10 million. Where did you get so much money? Sha, you're not really being kept by someone, are you? Everyone was incredulous hearing the girl bid 10 million to buy the ring. They all voiced their doubts. Dressed in cheap clothes, how could she have 10 million? She's not really someone's mistress, is she? The auctioneer's voice rose high on the stage. 10 million once, 10 million twice. If there are no more bids, this diamond ring will belong to this beautiful lady. The auctioneer picked up the gavel, about to strike the final decisive blow. Suddenly, he was interrupted by a man's deep voice. 50 million. Murong Mo by elegantly raised his paddle. As if buying a stone, he seemed nonchalant. The audience was in an uproar. Who's making such a big move? Is this ring really worth that much? Yi Lu Sha, looking at his back at this moment, thought the man must hate her extremely now. She felt sorry. Only by staying away from him, away from everything from her past, could she be reborn. The auctioneer's voice even revealed some excitement. 50 million, third time sold. Congratulations to this gentleman. Please come to the stage. Lu Sha's eyes were both worried and confused. Why did Murong Mo Bai do this? Was it to spite her? Murong Mo Bai walked gracefully to the center of the auction floor. The host sighed. What a handsome and wealthy, perfect man. I wonder which lucky lady will be led by this gentleman's hand. Unexpectedly, the man teasingly reached for the ring. He chuckled, "Oh, this ring. I just happen to have a little kitten at home. I bought it for her to play with. A 50 million diamond ring, just for a pet to play with. What kind of rich person is this?" Lu Sha witnessed this scene with her own eyes. Her heart suddenly felt uncomfortable. Why did she feel such pain in her heart? Seeing this, Zheng Xiaolian turned back to mock Lu Sha. "Isn't that man your boyfriend? Why didn't he buy it for you?" Lu Sha stood up silently, about to leave. Zhang Siyuan glanced secretly, seemingly lost in thought. The girl ran to the bathroom alone to cry secretly. Yi Lu Sha looked at herself in the mirror. She forced a strong smile. It's come to this. Everything is over. Zhang Siyuan, Zheng Xiaolian, and even His Highness. She washed her face with cold water, silently telling herself, I must completely stay away from you all. Start a new life. After making up her mind, she turned to leave. She wanted to leave this terrible place first. Unexpectedly, she was roughly pulled by a strong hand. She was thrown against the wall without care. It was Zhang Siyuan. His eyes gleamed as he grabbed Lu Sha's hand and questioned her. Have you fallen so low? Yi Lu Sha, panic-stricken, asked back, What do you want to do? She put her hands in front of her. I'm warning you, don't do anything rash. But the man ignored her and started cursing. I'm being rash. Why are you pretending to be pure? My little uncle, and now you bow high. How many men do you have? Slap. Yi Lu Sha couldn't take it anymore and slapped him. She trembled with anger. Zhang Siyuan, watch your mouth. Do you know who Yi Bo Hai is? Zhang Siyuan, covering his slapped face, asked in disbelief, I don't care who he is. Isn't he just someone who can be bought with money? Don't I have money? He violently grabbed Lu Sha's chin. Name your price. I'll give it to you. Lu Sha was pinned down and couldn't move. Tears of helplessness flowed from her eyes. Her body and heart were in pain. Why had things turned out like this? Zhang Siyuan wiped her tears and said, This helpless and pure look of yours should have been for me alone. But unfortunately, you no longer belong to me now. The more he thought about it, the more upset he became. Why can other men take advantage of you, but not me? Jealousy rose in his heart, making him lose his rationality. He suddenly tore open Lu Sha's coat. Yi Lu Sha, this appearance of yours, how many men have seen it? He grabbed the girl and tried to get closer. Lu Sha struggled weakly, her voice faint with a hint of pleading. No, please don't make me hate you. Zhang Siyuan paused upon hearing this. He seemed to hesitate. His voice no longer had any fluctuation. Then hate me. At this moment, Yi Lu Sha felt utterly helpless. Who could come to save her? Fragments of past memories flashed through her mind. The man before her. Even when he had cheated before, she had never felt this desperate. Why was he treating her like this? Yi Lu Sha's eyes filled with despair. Suddenly, there was a loud bang. Zhang Siyuan was forcefully thrown aside by a hand. Murong Mo Bai called out urgently, Sha Sha. The girl who had been assaulted shed tears of pain. She looked at the man who came to rescue her and murmured, Your Highness. Murong Mo Bai was both heartbroken and furious. Enraged, he immediately pulled out a rose-shaped dagger. You still dare to attempt such indecency? The man turned to drape his coat over Lu Sha, holding her tightly. "Don't be afraid, I'll take you home." Murong Mo Bai brought Lu Sha to his room. Seeing the marks left on her body by Jiang Siyuan Hao, he patiently disinfected and treated them. In his entire life, Murong Mo Bai had never been so attentive in doing such things for anyone else. He softly asked Lu Sha, "Does it hurt?" However, Lu Sha just sat on the bed, motionless and silent. Murong Mo Bai's eyes traced over her body. Jiang Siyuan Hao had been so rough. Red marks covered her fair, delicate skin, stark and angry. The man gritted his teeth, feeling a surge of self-blame. "It's all my fault. I shouldn't have gotten angry with her earlier, and I shouldn't have left her side." Murong Mo Bai stood up, saying gently, "I'll go call Mrs. Lin to help you bathe." But the girl reached out and grabbed him. Lu Sha now had no defenses left, her eyes filled only with pleading. "Don't go." Murong Mo Bai held Lu Sha's hand in return. He comforted her, "Be good. I'm not leaving. I'm just calling Mrs. Lin to help you take a bath. I'll wait right here for you to come out." Lu Sha shook her head. She gripped his hand tighter, softly uttering just one word, "No." Murong Mo Bai looked at the frightened, pitiful little rabbit before him, his heart filled with complex emotions. He leaned down to embrace her, stroking her head. "All right, I won't leave." The man had no choice but to carry her into the bathroom and bathe her himself. Lu Sha, small and curled up, sat motionless in the center of the bathtub, as if entrusting herself completely to him. Murong Mo Bai took a towel and gently wiped her body. As Lu Sha's long hair was lifted, he saw that not only her front, but even her back was covered with marks of violence. Murong Mo Bai's eyes filled with pain, and his self-blame became uncontrollable. Anger welled up inside him. "It's all my fault for not protecting you well." With nowhere to vent his fury, he suddenly slammed his fist against the hard wall with a bang. His hand was left bloodied from the impact. At this sound, Lu Sha was startled and turned around, murmuring, "Your Highness, you're bleeding." Murong Mo Bai held her tightly. His voice was firm. Sha, I will never let anyone hurt you again." Lu Sha, held gently by Murong Mo Bai, finally felt her anxious heart settle. Without realizing it, she fell asleep. She seemed to have a dream. When she opened her eyes, everything was pitch black. An unfamiliar scent surrounded her. Where was this place? She ran through the darkness, struggling and calling for help. "Where's the exit?" She ran until she was exhausted. Finally, a man's silhouette appeared in the darkness. The man smiled and reached out a hand to her. With his appearance, the darkness gradually faded. Light slowly filled her vision. It was light. Lu Sha reached out. Such a warm feeling. The girl woke up in bed. Sunlight fell on her face. It was dawn. She sat up and saw the man's tall silhouette by the window. His Highness looked so gentle. The man realized Lu Sha had woken up. He walked over and affectionately ruffled her hair, saying, "Now that you're awake, get up and have breakfast. Go freshen up first." Lu Sha went to the bathroom. It was her first time staying overnight here. Murong Mo Bai had thoughtfully prepared everything for her in advance. Toiletries for women. He had even squeezed out the toothpaste for her. Lu Sha felt a wave of warmth in her heart. After freshening up, Lu Sha walked downstairs. Murong Mo Bai was sitting quietly, waiting for her. This cozy feeling was comfortable and warm. He didn't want to let go. A sumptuous breakfast was laid out on the table for her to enjoy. Lu Sha, hungry after a night, started eating heartily. As she was fully engrossed in enjoying the food, Murong Mo Bai lowered his head, his eyes gazing at Lu Sha. He slowly opened his mouth. His voice was deep and mesmerizing. Sha, let's get married." Lu Sha froze upon hearing this. She blushed instantly, her body stiffening, unable to react. After pondering for a moment, she couldn't squeeze out a single word. Murong Mo Bai's face moved closer. He wanted an answer. Lu Sha saw him getting closer. She could even feel his breath. Thump, 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 thump. Her heart felt like it was about to jump out of her chest. She struggled to speak. "Your Highness." Murong Mo Bai, seeing her hesitant expression, looked seriously into Lu Sha's eyes. "You don't want to marry me?" No, it's not that." "Then do you think I'm not good looking?" "Of course not. Your Highness is so handsome. You could be a celebrity." Murong Mo Bai reached out to hold Lu Sha's face. continuing to confirm, then why don't you want to marry me? Lu Sha looked at the man before her, thinking to herself, what reason did she have to refuse? As a blind date match, His Highness was so excellent, and he always made her heart flutter. She couldn't care about much else now. Lu Sha blurted out. This time, she decided to follow her heart's voice. Murong Mo Bai smiled contentedly. Good girl. Since that's the case, I'll go call your father to confirm our marriage. Lu Sha watched as the man turned around and picked up his phone to make the call. She thought, isn't this too rushed? The most important thing in marriage is that the two people love each other. But Murong Mo Bai, does he love her? Lu Sha felt a bit unsure again. She shook her head and sighed. Never mind, maybe her father wouldn't agree anyway. Halfway through this thought, she was interrupted by Murong Mo Bai. From behind Lu Sha came the man's voice, tinged with joy. It's done. Mr. Yi has agreed. A man she met through a blind date just a few days ago had convinced her father with a single phone call to get married. Yi Lu Sha was caught off guard. Isn't this a bit too fast? Why don't we wait a while? Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai looked at Lu Sha. Wait, not everyone can wait. And so, Lu Sha's mind started to wander again. Can't wait. Could it be because she's pregnant? So, is His Highness proposing marriage because of this? Thinking of this, she sighed. But Murong Mo Bai noticed. What's wrong, Sha? Lu Sha didn't want to say anything more. She smiled and rubbed her head. It's nothing. I'm just a bit tired. I want to go sleep for a while. After saying this, she scurried back to her room. Lu Sha lay on the bed, tossing and turning. She really didn't know how she had been so bewitched earlier to blurt out and agree to him. It's too late to regret now. In this situation, no matter how much she lay down, she couldn't fall asleep. Lu Sha sat up, thinking forget it. She might as well go back to school first. Lu Sha changed her clothes and went downstairs, only to find Murong Mo Bai was no longer there. The housekeeper, Mrs. Lin, told her that His Highness had gone out for a run. Just as she finished speaking, suddenly the door opened. Lu Sha turned to look. A stunningly beautiful woman walked in, pulling a suitcase. This woman took off her sunglasses and casually instructed Mrs. Lin to help her unpack. She said she wanted to take a shower first. Lu Sha and she made eye contact, and doubt arose in her heart. Who is she? Why is she so familiar with this place? She must have a special relationship with Murong Mo Bai. No wonder there were so many women's items here. It all made sense now. This must be a girl who's very important to His Highness. Thinking of this, Lu Sha felt displeased. He has a girlfriend, yet still proposed to her. Was she being played? Hey, you come here. At this moment, the woman came out of the bathroom after showering, mistaking Lu Sha for a new maid. She imperiously called her over to help dry her hair. Lu Sha heard this and waved her hand, embarrassed, saying she didn't know how. Seeing her refusal, the woman questioned if the standards for servants here had become so low that they couldn't even dry hair. Mrs. Lin, seeing the two at an impasse, came to smooth things over. Miss Duam, you avez misunderstood. This is Miss Yi. She's His Highness's guest. The woman named Duanmu was displeased upon hearing this. She tossed her hair and snapped. So it's another shameless woman clinging to my senior. Well, since she's nobody important, let's not sully my ears. With that, Duanmu turned to leave. Stop right there. She was halted by Yi Lu Sha's loud call. Duanmu hesitated and turned back to look at her. Are you talking to me? To her surprise, Lu Sha now took on the air of a mistress of the house. Pointing at her, she said, of course, you're the nobody here. How dare you show up in my fiancé's home? Duanmu's brows furrowed instantly upon hearing this. Who did you say is your fiancé? Who? Hearing the woman's haughty questioning, Lu Sha retorted, who else could it be? Whoever owns this house is my fiancé. Unexpectedly, the woman became furious and was about to slap her. You shameless woman. Lu Sha didn't want to waste words with her senior's girlfriend. She caught the hand that was about to hit her. She questioned this inexplicable lady, who's really the shameless one here. Let's have His Highness settle this in a moment. The woman, unwilling to back down, freed her hand. Go ahead, call him if you dare. So Lu Sha took out her phone and dialed Murong Mo Bai's number. She put it on speakerphone and said pitifully, darling, there's someone here claiming to be your girlfriend. She's being fierce and wants to drive me away. Her voice softened as she continued dramatically. Maybe I should just leave. I don't want to disturb you and your girlfriend. The woman felt smug, thinking there was no way Murong Mo Bai would choose this bitch over her. But unexpectedly, an angry voice came through the phone. Murong Mo Bai shouted, Butler Wu, what's going on? The butler replied that it was Miss Duanmu. After a pause, Murong Mo by coldly instructed, see Miss Duanmu out. And from now on, if I see any woman other than Lu Sha here, you can consider yourself replaced as butler. Hearing this, Duanmu couldn't believe it. She trembled with anger, pointing at Lu Sha, unable to speak. Seeing this, Lu Sha smiled gently at her. Miss Duanmu, please leave. With a bang, Duanmu slammed the door as she left, not forgetting to leave a parting you just wait. Watching the woman leave, Lu Sha sighed in relief. She rubbed her head, feeling a bit embarrassed. The image of Murong Mo Bai's unfriendly gaze flashed in her mind. She murmured, His Highness won't blame me when he returns, will he? She collapsed on the sofa, losing the ability to think. After a while, she sat up. Never mind, I'd better go back to school first. Lu Sha sat in the Duke's private car, her thoughts drifting as they drove. It all felt a bit unreal, but as she came back to her senses, she suddenly realized that the route they were taking was unfamiliar. Driver, have you taken a wrong turn? The driver replied, I'm sorry, Miss Yi. Her Majesty the Queen wishes to see you. Lu Sha instantly became nervous. The Queen. Had His Highness already told the Queen about their relationship? And so, the driver took her to the Queen's private residence. Lu Sha followed a maid slowly into the house, too nervous to breathe loudly. They entered a bright room where an elegant figure sat quietly. Your Majesty, Miss Yi is here, the maid announced. The woman turned to look at Lu Sha. So you're Miss Yi. Lu Sha was momentarily speechless. The Queen was even more beautiful than on TV. She nodded hastily. Yes, I am, Your Majesty. The Queen calmly picked up her teacup, took a sip, and said, I heard you spent the night at Nanyuan. Lu Sha felt awkward hearing this. She hadn't expected the news to spread so quickly. However, the Queen didn't wait for her to speak. Her gaze turned cold as she continued. Miss Yi, do you know that a lady shouldn't spend the night at a man's house? The girl was brought to an unfamiliar mansion, and as soon as she entered, she was challenged by the Queen. Unable to understand why she was suddenly being treated with such hostility, a familiar voice interjected, why bother explaining anything to a commoner like her? It was her. Surprisingly, this woman, who had just been driven out of Murong Mo Bai's residence by Lu Sha, had immediately appeared here to complain to the Queen. Lu Sha was irritated by her constant use of the word commoner. Miss Duanmu, you seem to have a big problem with commoners. Duanmu Wenin easily approached the Queen, clearly showing their unusual relationship. Miss Yi, I've seen plenty of commoners like you who think they can climb the social ladder just by taking off their clothes. Such despicable commoners, the blood in their veins is dirty. I'm telling you, leave my senior quickly. He's just playing with you. The Queen, hearing these highly insulting words, remained noncommittal. Lu Sha didn't back down. She retorted, Miss Duanmu, you look down on commoners, but don't you know that it's the taxes from commoners that allow you nobles to live so luxuriously? Moreover, you say I lack moral character, but who is the woman appearing at my fiancé's house early in the morning? Lu Sha's witty response left Duanmu Wenin speechless. The Queen's eyes turned cold upon hearing this, and she questioned Lu Sha. I sending her there. Do you have any objections, Miss Yi? Lu Sha didn't dare to confront the Queen directly. She waved her hand, saying no. I just thought that given your esteemed position, you'd treat commoners and nobles equally. The Queen chuckled, thinking this woman was indeed sharp-tongued. She continued, Miss Yi doesn't understand. Mo Bai and Inger have been childhood sweethearts. Their relationship can't be compared to some wildflower or grass from outside. Lu Sha paused for a moment. So, does this mean that Duanmu Weiniang is the Queen's chosen future princess? Seeing Lu Sha's lack of response, the high and mighty woman thought to press her advantage. I believe Miss Yi is a smart person. Our royal family has never married commoners. Why don't you seize the opportunity in front of you? Lu Sha realized they were trying to buy her off. Duanmu Weiniang eagerly chimed in. Say it. How much money will it take for you to leave my senior? Lu Sha countered, well, how much can you offer? Seeing this plan might work, Duanmu smiled. I have to admit, you're quite clever. The Queen then spoke slowly. Out of consideration for Mo Bai, I'll give you 10 million. Take the money and leave quickly. Don't cling to him anymore. To their surprise, Lu Sha shook her head and complained, I didn't expect the royal family to be so stingy. Only 10 million. You know, when my father wanted to get rid of a small model clinging to my brother, he directly gave her an island in the Maldives. Hearing this, Duanmu's face darkened. She pointed at Yi Lu Sha threateningly. You're pushing your luck. Don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Lu Sha ignored her and turned a friendly gaze towards the queen. Your Majesty, how about this? How much money would it take for you to let me marry the Duke smoothly? Is 1 billion enough? After all, my father casually gave away several billion to a small model. Surely the Duke is worth more than a small model, right? The queen was furious. She had never heard anyone speak to her so recklessly. How dare you? She stood up abruptly. It seems you need to be taught a lesson. You're becoming more and more arrogant. She walked up to Lu Sha and raised her hand to strike. Lu Sha closed her eyes, not daring to retaliate. However, after a moment, she still didn't feel the pain of being hit. A figure appeared in front of her. What has happened to upset mother so much? Without giving anyone a chance to reply, Murong Mo Bai continued. It must be Sha Sha who angered you. I'm sorry, mother. I apologize on her behalf. I'll take her out now. It was the first time the queen had seen Murong Mo Bai treat an outsider like this. Her face showed shock. Before she could react, Murong Mo Bai grabbed Lu Sha's hand and prepared to leave. I'll teach her a lesson when we get back. We're leaving now. Goodbye, mother. He rescued her from the mansion. Don't mind what my mother said. After all, you're marrying me, not her. Lu Sha's eyes were hesitant. The queen's words had hit home. After all, their social status was vastly different. Seeing her troubled expression, Murong Mo Bai hugged her and said with a smile, don't overthink it. Come on, I'll take you to try on wedding dresses. The Duke took her directly to the most high-end bridal shop in the country. These wedding dresses were all personally designed by the founder of the XL brand. It could be said that this was every girl's unattainable dream. Lu Sha felt overwhelmed by the honor. Your Highness, why are you suddenly being so nice to me? Murong Mo Bai smiled and replied, don't be too moved yet. Go try them on quickly. Hearing this, Lu Sha paused for a moment and said, Your Highness, I have another question I want you to answer. You have such a noble status and are so excellent. But why did you choose me? I'm so ordinary. Murong Mo Bai looked at Lu Sha. His gaze softened. I want to marry you, of course, because I love you. However, at this moment, in Murong Mo Bai's eyes, he seemed to see another similar figure in Lu Sha. After the man finished speaking, he bent down and kissed the girl's forehead, as if holding the world's most precious treasure. The atmosphere in this bridal shop was warm and intimate. Meanwhile, on the other side, Zheng Xiaoling and Jiang Cunhao were also in a bridal shop, selecting a wedding dress. Zheng Xiaoling, in a white veil, walked gracefully to her fiancé. Jiang Cunhao, without even looking, said, looks good. Let's go with this one. At this moment, his attention was entirely on the chat interface with Lu Sha. He was about to get engaged, and after composing his thoughts for a long time, he still had some things he wanted to tell Lu Sha. Zheng Xiaoling saw that, even now, the man's attention was completely not on her side. She approached him, wanting to show some intimacy. Unexpectedly, Jiang Cunhao stood up directly, not wanting to waste any more time. He instructed the shop assistant to pack up this wedding dress and was about to leave. Zheng Xiaoling, sitting in place, caught a glimpse of Jiang Cunhao's phone screen. Anger rose in her heart. Yi Lu Sha again. Why can't he forget her after so many years? That year, when Zheng Xiaoling first met her best friend's boyfriend, Jiang Cunhao, the handsome and wealthy young master, she fell in love at first sight. Once, when he had an argument with Yi Lu Sha and got drunk, she took the initiative to appear and falsely accuse, causing them to completely fall apart. But it was also because of that time, for so many years, although Jiang Cunhao was willing to be with her, he never wanted to touch her. Zheng Xiaoling's anger surged at this moment. Yi Lu Sha, it's all because of you. I must destroy you. The girl was framed by her scheming classmate. Receiving a message thinking her best friend was in trouble, she followed the instructions to a strange private room. The woman in the room smiled kindly at her. Lu Sha didn't think much and took a sip of water from the person opposite. However, after a moment, her best friend didn't appear. Instead, she felt dizzy. Her body started to heat up, and a subtle feeling began to course through her body. Seeing Lu Sha lose consciousness on the sofa, Zheng Xiaoling, who had been waiting outside the door for a long time, called in a group of men. A pleased smile appeared on her face. She's all yours now. Don't hold back. Zheng Xiaoling watched the arrogant steps of several thugs feeling finally satisfied. Yi Lu Sha, I want you to be beyond redemption. Three thugs approached Lu Sha, about to take advantage of her. Half-conscious, Lu Sha felt the unfamiliar presence in front of her and tried to support her body to resist. Her instinctive reaction made her struggle. Seeing her trying to escape, the thugs took out a knife to threaten her. One slash, and let's see how this little girl can run away. However, Lu Sha's body had become very hot at this point. Her legs were weak and powerless. She stumbled and fell to the ground. The thugs behind her approached. One raised his hand, about to stab down with the weapon. At the critical moment, the thug's wrist was suddenly caught by a powerful hand. Before he could react, with a bam, he was knocked to the ground by a punch from the angry man in front of him. Knocked down. After dealing with the would-be assailants, Murong Mo Bai hurriedly ran into the private room to find Lu Sha. He held the girl on the sofa, her face flushed red and in great discomfort. Sha, I'm here. It's all right now. Afterwards, Murong Mo Bai took Lu Sha home. However, in the departing car, the girl, urged by the drug, felt restless inside. Her mouth was dry. She leaned close to Murong Mo Bai, panting as she called out, "Your Highness, I feel so uncomfortable." Lu Sha kept moving closer to the man in front of her. "I can't take it anymore." Murong Mo Bai was somewhat aroused by Lu Sha's actions, but he knew it was the drug taking a stronger effect. Before Murong Mo Bai could speak, Lu Sha suddenly turned over and directly straddled the man. With a dazed expression, she said to him, "Your Highness, do you know you're my man?" Lu Sha looked at the handsome face of the man before her. In his perfect physique, she felt even more aroused. Murong Mo Bai reacted to her repeated teasing, letting out a stifled groan. "Don't move around." Unexpectedly, Lu Sha looked at him with hazy eyes, softly murmuring, "Your Highness." She lowered her head, wrapped her arms around the man's neck, and kissed him directly. The man anxiously carried the girl home, placing her on the bed. However, the drugged girl had lost her senses at this point. Hazily only wanted to get closer to the man. "Your Highness, I'm so hot." Murong Mo Bai had never seen Lu Sha like this before. He didn't expect her proactive side to be so alluring. Lu Sha panted near his ear. Murong Mo Bai held onto his principles. If this continued, he was afraid he wouldn't be able to control himself. He held back Lu Sha's wandering hands. Lu Sha was not in her right mind, driven by the drug. If he gave in now, it would be no different from rape. However, looking into Lu Sha's eyes, clouded with desire, Lu Sha forcefully grabbed Murong Mo Bai, unbuttoning his shirt and calling out to him softly, "Your Highness." Murong Mo Bai's expression became dazed, bewitched. He gently caressed Lu Sha's face, no longer resisting. The night passed, and both had a good dream. Lu Sha was awakened by the morning light. Opening her eyes, her head ached slightly. "Where am I?" Some fragments of last night suddenly came to mind. She remembered receiving a text to go to the KTV. There was Lu Wei. How did she end up here? Murong Mo Bai, aware of her movement, also woke up. "Don't worry, Lu Wei is fine." Lu Sha was startled. "Your Highness, why are you here?" Murong Mo Bai looked at her, raising an eyebrow and replying, "After having your way with me, you want to pretend nothing happened." Lu Sha then realized something was terribly wrong, letting out an scream. "Your Highness, last night Murong Mo Bai replied with a smile, "We did everything we should and shouldn't have. Why are you shy now?" Lu Sha then recalled the events of last night. However, she was shocked. These symptoms from yesterday were clearly from being drugged. She frowned and looked at Murong Mo Bai, asking, "Your Highness, how did you appear there last night?" Murong Mo Bai put on his shirt, calmly replying, "Nonsense, I've been following you all along." Hearing this, Lu Sha felt a moment of happiness. He had been following her all along. She thought it was Zheng Xiaolin's doing. Could it have been His Highness? How could he do this to her? Lu Sha lowered her gaze and continued to ask, "Why did you do this?" Murong Mo Bai, seeing her serious expression, was confused. "What are you talking about?" Last night, unexpectedly, Lu Sha suddenly slapped his hand away. "Don't touch me. I feel dirty." Murong Mo Bai stood there stunned, trying to calm his emotions. "You're not feeling well today. I won't hold it against you." Hearing this, Lu Sha became even angrier. "Won't hold it against me. You really have a magnanimous attitude. To use such tactics to take advantage of me. me. It's utterly shameless. Hearing these words, Murong Mo Bai couldn't help but grab her and question. So in your eyes, I'm the kind of person who schemes like this. Lu Sha, hearing this, intensified her harsh words. That's right, you did it this time. You actually drugged me to have your way with me. It makes me sick. After saying this, she turned and slammed the door shut, leaving Murong Mo Bai alone in the room. In the silent private room, the woman knelt on the ground in despair. Zheng Xiaoling never imagined that her dirty scheme to deal with Lu Sha would be easily exposed by Murong Mo Bai. The man sat on the sofa with a gloomy expression, questioning her. Do you have anything else to say? She trembled and asked, Your Highness, if you have the evidence, why not hand me over to the police? Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai sneered. Wouldn't that be too easy for you? He called his subordinates. Let's give her a taste of her own medicine. Miss Zheng likes drugging people so much, she should experience it herself. And you use dirty tricks to deceive my nephew Jiang. Very well. The royal family won't allow someone as deceitful as you. Murong Mo Bai finished speaking and stood up to leave. Zheng Xiaoling was shocked to hear this. She stood there in disbelief. Impossible. No one should have known about this. Back then, she took advantage of Jiang Xiyuanhao's drunkenness to trick him into sleeping with her. Later, she schemed to fake a pregnancy to keep him by her side. Finally, she pretended to have a miscarriage, successfully gaining his guilt and sympathy. Thinking of this, if Jiang Xiyuanhao were to learn the truth about everything, he would never look at her again. Zheng Xiaoling struggled in desperation. She knelt on the ground, trying to grab Murong Mo Bai. Your Highness, please don't tell him. I know I was wrong. However, Murong Mo Bai didn't look back. He walked straight towards the door. What appeared before him were several unfamiliar men with ill intentions. At this time, Lu Sha and Lu Wei had just finished class and were heading back to the dorm. Suddenly, a middle-aged man appeared in front of them. Before Lu Sha could ask, the man fell to his knees with a thud. Miss Yi, please spare our Zheng family. I failed to teach my daughter properly. She was bewitched and drugged you. Her crime is unforgivable. Hearing this, Lu Wei quickly shielded Lu Sha. So it was Zheng Xiaoling who did this. How vicious. Lu Sha stood there stunned. It was really Zheng Xiaoling. The man continued to kneel and kowtow. Monsieur, Zheng Xiaoling deserves punishment. But please, help us ask His Highness to spare the Zheng family. However, Lu Sha couldn't hear this man's desperate pleas at all. Her heart was filled with anger, regret, and self-blame. His Highness had saved her, yet she called him disgusting and wrongly accused him. Lu Sha took out her phone, but the call wouldn't go through. She turned and rushed off to find Murong Mo Bai without a second thought. She arrived at the mansion alone. However, the weather turned bad, with thunder and lightning, and heavy rain started to fall. Inside the mansion, the servants reported to Murong Mo Bai that Miss Yi was at the door and wouldn't leave. Murong Mo Bai coldly said to ignore her. The man's proud heart thought, since I'm so despicable in your eyes, why come looking for me now? Boom, boom. As the thunder and lightning outside grew more intense, Murong Mo Bai's emotions stirred. He coldly said, Don't let outsiders stand at the door. Shadow, quickly send someone to take her away. Hearing this, the servant smiled contentedly. His Highness was still soft-hearted, unwilling to let Miss Yi get soaked in the rain. To properly apologize to Murong Mo Bai, Lu Sha had pestered the Duke's bodyguards for a long time. She finally got a bit of information that Murong Mo Bai would appear here tonight. She thought she must apologize properly this time. However, just as she arrived at the club, she was intercepted by Jiang Xiyuanhao. Jiang Xiyuanhao, who had learned the truth, stopped Lu Sha when he saw her. Sha, it was all my fault before. Zheng Xiaoling deceived me. I've already broken up with her. I truly love you. Please forgive me. Lu Sha was grabbed by him, unable to move. Jiang Xiyuanhao, you're not worthy to speak of love. Let go of me quickly. As she struggled, unexpectedly, this drunk man vomited all over Lu Sha. With no other choice, Lu Sha had to find a room to settle him down first. She took off her dirty outer clothes, looking a bit disheveled. She thought going to see His Highness like this would only disgust him. She opened the door, preparing to leave first. Unexpectedly, as soon as she opened the door, Murong Mo Bai appeared before her eyes. Seeing Lu Sha wearing only a camisole, the man's eyes turned cold. He turned to leave. Lu Sha quickly chased after him, trying to explain, Your Highness, you misunderstand. Murong Mo Bai questioned with his back turned, a man and woman alone in a room. I see you still have lingering feelings for him. Hearing this, Lu Sha continued to explain, what could I do? He kept pestering me. Before she could finish, Murong Mo by angrily turned around and pinned Lu Sha against the wall. Is that so? Then I'll pester you too. And drug you as well. Would you also have no choice then? Lu Sha knew she was in the wrong and weakly replied, I'm sorry, Your Highness. I know I wrongly accused you yesterday. However, Murong Mo Bai was overwhelmed with jealousy and shouted, I don't want to hear any of this. Lu Sha looked into his eyes, full of anger. How did His Highness really see her? And what did he think of this marriage? Our status is so different, and I always make you angry. I don't believe I can easily gain your love. Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai frowned even more and asked, so, this is why you misunderstood me. What if I really had ulterior motives? What if I just wanted you to get pregnant, so you'd have no choice but to marry me? Would you still marry me then? Lu Sha was stunned by his words, feeling hurt. Just as she was about to speak again to confirm, suddenly there was a loud bang. Murong Mo Bai quickly embraced her. Get down. It's gunfire. Lu Sha felt fear rising in her heart. She watched as Murong Mo Bai, hit by a bullet, fell in front of her with a thud. How are you? Lu Sha crouched down and held the weakened Murong Mo Bai. The man's eyes softened. He raised his weak hand to caress Lu Sha's face. It's good you didn't marry me. Otherwise, you'd be a widow now. The girl stayed by the side of the man who had been shot, but he tried to send her away. Yi Lu Sha shook her head in refusal. She wanted to stay by His Highness's side. Murong Mo Bai questioned, why stay? Just because I took a bullet for you. If it's just out of gratitude, I don't need your pity. You should go. Lu Sha was stunned. She only wanted to stay by Murong Mo Bai's side now. Looking at His Highness who had risked his life to save her, was it really just out of gratitude? Some warm memories flashed through her mind. All along, it had been Murong Mo Bai who protected her without asking for anything in return. Yet she had been hesitant and cautious, afraid to respond. Now, seeing Murong Mo Bai's disappointed expression, she felt extremely upset. Lu Sha realized in her heart that she loved Murong Mo Bai and wanted to stay by his side forever. She reached out to touch Murong Mo Bai's face. Your Highness, I know I've said many hurtful things. I'm sorry, but I want to stay. Not out of guilt or gratitude. Lu Sha looked into Murong Mo Bai's eyes. She said seriously, I like Your Highness. Murong Mo Bai heard for the first time such straightforward words from Lu Sha. His heart skipped a beat, and his face couldn't help but flush. Before he could respond, Lu Sha continued, when you're healed, let's go register our marriage. At this moment, the gloom in both their hearts dissipated. The atmosphere in the hospital room seemed to brighten. Several days later, Murong Mo Bai had recovered. The couple sweetly went to a hot spring resort. Just as they entered the scenic area, they heard a familiar voice. It was Duan Mu. Seeing Lu Sha by Murong Mo Bai's side, this woman ran up to them with an unhappy face and questioned, how can a commoner like you be here? Lu Sha was about to explain, but Murong Mo Bai interrupted, protectively asking, what's wrong? Can I bring my family? Family. Duan Mu's expression changed, unable to believe it. Murong Mo Bai grabbed Lu Sha's hand. He turned to leave with her. That's right, they were now legally married. Lu Sha entered the luxurious room, filled with mist. She finally found the entrance to the women's hot spring. She comfortably soaked herself in it. Instantly relaxing, she felt her fatigue disappear. But in this large hot spring, there were no other guests. Just as she thought this, a tall figure approached from afar. Lu Sha looked up. She was shocked to see it was a man. The man entered the pool. Sensing an unfamiliar presence nearby, his eyes darkened. He turned and grabbed Lu Sha. Who sent you? Lu Sha, caught by the neck, couldn't speak. The man looked closer and realized it was a fragile woman. He slowly released his grip. Lu Sha, released by the man, gasped for air. She never thought a simple hot spring bath could lead to such trouble. Next, this man boldly grabbed Lu Sha's chin and teased, it seems Murong Mo Bai sent you to seduce me. He certainly knows my preferences. The man continued to lean closer to Lu Sha, whispering suggestively in her ear, shall we go back to the room, or do it right here? Hearing this, Lu Sha couldn't take it anymore. She lifted one leg and kicked the man from below. This unknown pervert. Lu Sha gracefully turned and fled. The man left in the hot spring was in too much pain to speak. What a vicious woman. Lu Sha left the hot spring with an annoyed expression. However, when she reached the door, she realized that she had made a big mistake. She had mistaken the men's and women's areas. How embarrassing. After bathing, the girl came to the room wrapped in a towel. She searched frantically, but couldn't find her underwear. In her panic, there was a knock at the door. Lu Sha thought, oh no, if His Highness sees me like this, he'll tease me about trying to seduce him again. As the knocking stopped and the door was about to open, Lu Sha had a quick idea. She grabbed the pile of clothes on the bed and swiftly locked herself in the wardrobe. Murong Mo Bai had just finished in the hot spring and entered the bedroom. However, the clothes he had left outside earlier were now missing. Lu Sha peeked through the wardrobe crack and saw his confused expression. She realized that in her panic, she had also grabbed Murong Mo Bai's clothes. In this awkward situation, she didn't know what to do. She secretly reached out a small hand to throw back his shorts, but was caught by Murong Mo Bai. He seized the opportunity to pull the little trickster out of the wardrobe. Lu Sha let out a startled cry. Murong Mo Bai caught Lu Sha and raised an eyebrow. I didn't know you had such special interests. Lu Sha was on the verge of tears. This is a misunderstanding, Your Highness. Let me explain. She turned her head, not daring to look at Murong Mo Bai. However, as she moved, her towel gradually loosened and slipped off her body with a swoosh. Oh no, now it's even harder to explain. Seeing this, Murong Mo Bai teased, I didn't expect you to be so forward today. Seems like you're eager to throw yourself at me. Before Lu Sha could respond, the man grabbed her chin and leaned in to kiss her. Lu Sha felt nervous as the man continued his advances. Suddenly, a series of gurgling sounds interrupted. Murong Mo Bai couldn't help but laugh. He released Lu Sha's face and said, hungry. Let's eat first. Lu Sha's face turned bright red with embarrassment. She had made a fool of herself in front of him again. Moments later, the two went to the hot spring restaurant for dinner. They were about to order high-grade steak when a waiter interrupted. Excuse me, ma'am. A guest over there sent you a bottle of wine. He said, fine wine for a beautiful lady. Lu Sha felt awkward at this sudden situation. She looked up and saw it was the man from the hot spring. Before she could speak, Murong Mo Bai's angry voice rang out. He shouted, take the wine back. Tell him this cheap wine isn't good enough for my wife. He then turned to Lu Sha with deliberate tenderness, wiping away a bit of oil from the corner of her mouth. The man in the distance watched this scene with interest and slowly stood up. The man let out a cold laugh. His possessiveness is still as strong as ever. The silver-haired man approached the couple provocatively, leaning close to whisper in the girl's ear. Murong Mo Bai immediately shouted angrily, get your filthy hands off her. The silver-haired man ignored him and clinked glasses with Lu Sha. Murong Mo Bai couldn't stand it anymore. He reached out and pulled him away. I said, get your filthy hands off her. The silver-haired man, now pulled away, sneered Murong Mo Bai. Don't be so nervous. You wouldn't want to scare your little wife, would you? Lu Sha sat there stunned. His Highness actually knew this person. After a moment of tension, Murong Mo Bai finally let go. He warned, stay away from my woman. Then he turned and left, pulling Lu Sha along. Lu Sha had never seen Murong Mo Bai so angry before. At that moment, the man's deep voice came from behind. Yi Lu Sha, do you know why he wants to marry you? Murong Mo Bai paused upon hearing this. Lu Sha glanced back, feeling confused. Lost in thought, she was called by Murong Mo Bai. Don't mind him. Stay away from him. With these thoughts, Lu Sha returned with Murong Mo Bai. He went outside alone to get some air. Still unable to understand what had just happened, he mumbled, who is that person? Why did he say those things to me? As soon as he finished speaking, someone answered his doubts. It was Duan Mu Rongyin. You want to know? Ask me. That man is called Hua Xingyuan. He's always been a thorn in Senior's heart. Lu Sha asked, so what's the issue between them? Duan Mu arrogantly lifted his head and replied, if you dare to come with me to a place, I'll tell you. Lu Sha hesitated upon hearing this. In the end, she followed Duan Mu. They arrived in front of a huge iron door. Lu Sha felt uneasy. Why did you bring me here? Duan Mu turned and said, Yi Lu Sha, aren't you curious about Murong Mo Bai and Hua Xingyuan? Just enter this door, and I'll tell you. Lu Sha remained silent. She looked around and saw only Duan Mu. She thought she could handle him if he tried anything. So Lu Sha walked forward and slowly pushed open the door. With a creak, the door opened. Suddenly, there was a sound of electricity behind Lu Sha. Di Yi Liu Sha. Lu Sha let out a cry as she was electrocuted. She weakly fell to her knees, losing strength. Seeing this, Duan Mu slammed the door shut and locked it. There are 5 vicious wolves in there. You're done for. Lu Sha realized the gravity of the situation. She asked in disbelief, "Are you crazy? This is murder." Duan Mu let out a cold laugh. "In this remote place, if you die, no one will know. Anyone who tries to steal Senior from me deserves to die." Duan Mu left with these harsh words. Lu Sha panicked inside. Her phone had no signal. Howls came from the distance. Several vicious wolves approached her with fierce eyes. Unable to find his wife, the Duke was extremely anxious. He walked to the hotel lobby. He heard women in the distance excitedly talking about something. Murong Mo Bai slowly approached from behind. It was indeed about Lu Sha. His eyes darkened as he sternly called out, "Duan Mu Wanin. Who are you just talking about?" As Duan Mu was about to deny, the man behind him thoughtfully added, "Come to think of it, I did see Duan Mu and Lu Sha walking out together earlier." Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai immediately flew into a rage. He grabbed Duan Mu and threatened, "Tell me quickly, where did you take her?" Duan Mu finally realized the gravity and meekly replied, "Wolf Valley." Murong Mo Bai's face darkened as he realized the dire situation. Meanwhile, in Wolf Valley, Lu Sha was surrounded by several hungry wolves. She tried to stay calm and look for a chance to survive. Lu Sha noticed the lead wolf had an injured leg. Wolves are pack animals. Lu Sha gritted her teeth. If she could tame the alpha, everything might turn around. As the alpha wolf lunged at her, Lu Sha tensed her body. Now was her chance. She spun and leaped, clinging tightly to the alpha wolf's back, refusing to let go. The alpha wolf struggled to throw her off, speeding up and running into the distance. Soon after, Murong Mo Bai arrived at Wolf Valley. He was too anxious to wait for the rescue team. He smashed open the door with a rock and ran in, disregarding his safety. "Sha, you must be all right." He searched the valley. Howls came from not far away. Finally, through the dense bushes, he saw Lu Sha's figure. Surprisingly, 5 vicious wolves stood beside her. Murong Mo Bai couldn't care about anything else. He just wanted to get Lu Sha out of the wolf pack. However, before Lu Sha could explain, the gray wolves beside her were startled by his movement and let out several intimidating howls. They quickly attacked him. With a howl, before he could react, Murong Mo Bai's arm was severely bitten. He quickly kicked the vicious wolf away. Blood dripped from his arm. Lu Sha ran towards him worriedly, but Murong Mo Bai shouted, "Don't worry about me. Run quickly." In this crisis, the girl tamed the alpha wolf amidst the pack's attack. Murong Mo Bai, who had rushed over, finally found Lu Sha. His anxious heart finally calmed down. Murong Montak Bai hooked Liu Sha tightly. "Thank goodness you're all right." Lu Sha couldn't help but shed tears. She gently touched the man's arm, where the wolf had bitten him. Fresh blood was still seeping out. "Your Highness must be in a lot of pain." Murong Mo Bai wiped away her tears. "Don't cry, I'm not in pain. It's my fault for not protecting you well." Lu Sha then confessed, "It's all because of me. I overthought things because of what others said." Murong Mo Bai lowered his head, looking tenderly at Lu Sha, wanting to explain something. But Lu Sha interrupted, "I'm sorry, Your Highness." Murong Montak Bai listened. He leaned closer to Lu Sha. "Let's have our wedding ceremony. Let's properly complete the ceremony. A truly meaningful marriage." Several days later, it was the Empress Dowager's birthday banquet. Murong Mo Bai brought Lu Sha, both dressed formally. Lu Sha was a bit nervous, afraid of offending the royal family. Just as she was about to say something, a familiar voice came from ahead. "Mo Bai, Sha, you're here." Looking up, they saw a graceful woman with a gentle expression smiling at them. Murong Mo Bai called out cousin, while Lu Sha hid behind him. She felt awkward. After all, this was his ex-boyfriend's mother. Seeing Lu Sha's panicked state, Murong couldn't help but smile. "It's all right. Sha, don't hide. You should call me cousin now." From future mother-in-law to cousin, Lu Sha felt conflicted. At this moment, Murong stood up. Sha, let's go pay our respects to the Empress grandmother." Speak of the devil. A dignified elderly woman in a dark red formal dress slowly approached them, followed by the Empress and Duan Mu Wanin. Seeing this, Murong Mo Bai smiled and said, "Hello, Empress grandmother. Lu Sha hurriedly bowed, wanting to greet her too. However, before she could finish saying Empress grandmother 3 times, she was interrupted, calling me that now is too premature. Lu Sha received a harsh welcome. She slowly raised her head. The Empress Dowager continued her personal attack. Too short, nose too flat, ordinary looks. Poor natural conditions, and lacking in cultivated grace as well. I heard your father, Yi Bo Hai, started from scratch and became as wealthy as a nation in just a few decades. So it seems you're just the daughter of a nouveau riche, only caring about money, with no etiquette or upbringing, right? Faced with the Empress Dowager's initial difficulty, Lu Sha didn't back down. I'm not perfect. That's my own issue. Please don't randomly slander my father. Duan Mu, standing nearby, chimed in, Yi Lu Sha, how dare you offend the esteemed Empress Dowager? You vulgar commoner don't deserve senior at all. Just as Murong Mo Bai was about to speak up for Lu Sha, she retorted directly, whether I deserve him or not isn't for you to decide. Moreover, if I were to compare myself with Miss Duan Mu, I could practically be called the epitome of beauty and kindness. After saying this, she playfully winked at Murong Mo Bai. Your Highness, don't you agree? Seeing this, Duan Mu continued complaining to the Empress Dowager. The Empress Dowager watched this scene silently for a moment. She wasn't narrow-minded by nature, and this time, she merely wanted to test Lu Sha's character. From what she saw, Lu Sha indeed had a neither servile nor overbearing personality. Thinking this, she reached out to hold Lu Sha's hand, nodding and saying, although your appearance is somewhat lacking, your figure looks good. You should be able to bear children for the royal family in the future. Hearing this, Lu Sha broke out in a cold sweat, thinking, how does this old lady change her attitude faster than turning pages? Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai, fearing Lu Sha might be displeased, pulled her close and said, Empress grandmother, my marriage to Lu Sha has nothing to do with anything else. It's only because I like her. So for future matters, I'm willing to respect her wishes. At this moment, a figure approached them from behind. The newcomer said, Great-grandmother, happy birthday. Shijiang Ciyuan Hao, as a royal relative, had also come to offer his congratulations on this day. Lu Sha hadn't seen this ex-boyfriend of hers for a long time. For a moment, it felt like a lifetime ago. During a break before dinner, Lu Sha came out of the restroom. Zhang Ciyuan Hao called out to her, Sha, can we talk today? Lu Sha didn't want to deal with him and turned to leave, but he grabbed her. Are you really going to marry Uncle? Lu Sha shook off his hand and replied, it's not just a plan. We're already legally married. Hearing this, Jiang Ciyuan Hao became anxious. Sha, how much do you know about him? Do you know why he wants to marry you? It was that question again. Lu Sha was stunned for a moment. Before she could speak, Jiang Ciyuan Hao continued, let me ask you, after you got married, has he ever touched you again? Lu Sha couldn't help but step back. How do you know? Because there's always been a rumor that Uncle doesn't like women. He only married to hide his sexual orientation. Lu Sha was incredulous. So you're saying he's gay? Zhang Ciyuan Hao nodded yes. Rumor has it he either likes men or he's impotent. Before he finished, a deep voice suddenly came from behind. Are you talking about me? Murong Mo Bai at this moment walked between them with a gloomy face. Zhang Ciyuan Hao felt awkward. Murong Mo Bai coldly pulled Lu Sha over. Is the rumor true? Why don't you witness it for yourself now? The angry man grabbed Lu Sha. I'm your husband. How could you believe an outsider's nonsense? Lu Sha was about to explain, but Murong Mo Bai strode away. It was snowing heavily outside. Murong Mo Bai walked on with snow on his head, not looking back. He didn't even turn his head. Lu Sha felt helpless. She knew His Highness must be very angry this time. The cold wind blew, and her thin dress provided little warmth. Lu Sha shivered. At this moment, although Murong Mo Bai was angry, he noticed her discomfort. He turned his head and put a coat on Lu Sha. She didn't expect His Highness to look so cute when being tsundere. They got in the car to go home. However, Murong Mo Bai remained silent in the car. Lu Sha's repeated explanations had no effect. Until they got home, Murong Mo Bai walked into the room by himself, coldly saying, I still have work to do. You go rest early. With that, he slammed the door shut, leaving Lu Sha alone outside, sighing. Are all men this hard to please? Inside the room, Murong Mo Bai wasn't doing anything else. He was waiting by the door, wanted to hear Lu Sha continue to coax him. However, after a while, there was no sound. The tsundere man couldn't help but regret. Did she really leave? Opening the door, he found Lu Sha was gone. This woman really has no patience at all. At this time, to appease Murong Mo Bai, Lu Sha actually started surfing the internet. What are some tips to comfort an angry husband? Looking at the search results, Lu Sha felt a bit troubled. Can she do it? Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well give it a try. Lu Sha changed into a sexy camisole and climbed onto the balcony. Planning to enter through the window, she shivered from the cold. She tried hard to find Murong Mo Bai's figure from outside the window. Murong Mo Bai noticed the movement and looked back. He got up and walked towards the window. Lu Sha appeared in front of him in a strange posture. Seeing this, Murong Mo Bai was shocked and quickly pulled her into the room. Are you crazy? It's so cold out there. Lu Sha immediately snuggled into the man's arms. Recalling the tips from the search engine, she started to copy them. Your Highness, I'm so cold, Murong Mo Bai smirked. He picked her up horizontally. I'll warm you up. Lu Sha was thrown onto the bed. Watching Murong Mo Bai loosen his collar, looking ready to pounce, suddenly the phone on the bedside table started vibrating. It rang several times without stopping. Murong Mo Bai had to pause and answer the phone. Hello. The news on the phone changed his expression. Boss, we have news about Miss Hailan. Their intimate moment from last night was interrupted halfway through. Lu Sha still felt a bit regretful. His Highness didn't come back all night. He had told her to wait obediently for his return when he left. Halfway through lunch, the housekeeper, Mrs. Lin, came to tell her that His Highness was delayed last night and couldn't return, but he would be back for dinner today. She told Lu Sha not to worry. Hearing this, Lu Sha withdrew her complaints. Thinking about tonight, they could continue what was left unfinished yesterday. She couldn't help but blush a little. Lost in her thoughts, she was already considering which outfit to wear tonight to set the mood. Suddenly, her phone's vibration interrupted her thoughts. It was Jiang Siyuan Hao. What does he want now? Lu Sha impatiently picked up the phone and opened the chat interface. For some reason, Jiang Siyuan Hao on the other end started acting up again, saying they were true love and that he wanted to go explain everything to Murong Mo Bai. Lu Sha was speechless. She tried calling him, but he didn't answer. Growing more anxious as she waited, she got up and left to stop him. Meanwhile, in Murong Mo Bai's office, Jiang Siyuan Hao burst through the door. Uncle, I want to talk to you. He took a deep breath. Uncle, can you give Lu Sha to me? Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai's face turned ashen. What are you saying? Jiang Siyuan Hao. He continued seriously, I don't know why you married Lu Sha, but please, can you let us be together? Murong Mo Bai couldn't bear to listen anymore. He slammed the table and stood up. Let you be together. If you truly loved her, you shouldn't have separated from her in the first place. An insignificant woman was able to manipulate you, shaking your heart. Someone like you doesn't deserve to speak of love. Hearing this, Jiang Siyuan Hao stood there, stunned. He was speechless. He realized that it was too late to regret now. It was his fault for not protecting Lu Sha back then. Murong Mo by then dialed the intercom to call security. They ruthlessly escorted the dejected Jiang Siyuan Hao out. Before he left, Murong Mo Bai warned him, remember, Lu Sha is now your aunt. Don't have any wild thoughts in the future. She can only be mine. Murong Mo Bai grew angrier as he thought about it. He got up, intending to leave and find Lu Sha. Unexpectedly, Lu Sha pushed open the door at that moment. Seeing his angry expression, Lu Sha quickly asked, Your Highness, did Jiang Siyuan Hao come? Don't listen to his nonsense. Before she could finish, Murong Mo Bai impatiently interrupted her. I don't care what he said. I only want to hear the truth from you. Murong Mo Bai looked at Lu Sha and asked seriously, Between him and me, who do you choose? Hearing this, Lu Sha replied without hesitation, Of course, I choose your Highness. I'm already married to you. Upon hearing this, Murong Mo Bai immediately kissed her. He turned and picked her up, placing her on the desk. Lu Sha felt shy. Your Highness, this is the office. Murong Mo Bai whispered intimately, Isn't it more exciting in the office? Hearing this, Lu Sha averted her gaze, too embarrassed to look at him directly. With a swoosh, a hidden door opened. Lu Sha, still in his arms, turned to look. There was actually a bed in His Highness's office. Murong Mo Bai gently put Lu Sha down. He explained, Don't get the wrong idea. I only sleep here when I'm tired from working overtime. You're the first woman to sleep here. Murong Mo Bai cupped Lu Sha's face again and kissed her. As their outer clothes gradually came off, just as they were about to start, Lu Sha stopped him. Your Highness, wait. Lu Sha felt apologetic. I think I've started my period. I'm sorry. Sorry, Your Highness. But Murong Mo Bai gently patted her head. It's alright, it's my oversight. I forgot today was your time of the month. Murong Mo Bai put on his shirt and apologized. I was too impulsive just now. Wait here, I'll go buy you some sanitary products. Lu Sha watched the man's retreating figure, feeling warmth in her heart. As gentle and considerate as Murong Mo Bai, she indeed hadn't married the wrong person. In a bustling hall, a girl stood up in shock. It was during the lecture of the renowned entrepreneur Yi Bohai. The other students discussed among themselves, thinking she was just seeking attention. Little did they know, this Yi Zhu, who captivated thousands of young girls, was actually Lu Sha's biological father. However, now with everyone watching, it was a bit embarrassing. Lu Sha quickly tried to smooth things over. Mr. Yi, you're much more handsome in person than in magazines. I was so excited to see you that I stood up unconsciously. I'm really sorry. Hearing this, Yi Bohai responded without a smile. This isn't good, student. After all, your father paid for you to come here to study, not to be infatuated. Having lectured this love-struck student, Mr. Yi generously waved his hand, gesturing for her to sit down. Please sit down. If you have any questions, we can discuss them slowly after the event. Hearing this, Lu Sha sat down awkwardly, but in her heart, she was constantly praising her reliable father. This was clearly him helping to deflect admirers. The lecture began. Yi Bohai had an extraordinary presence and spoke elegantly. Even the age difference couldn't stop the charm emanating from this man. He continuously attracted the heated gazes of countless female students. I heard Mr. Yi is still single. He's such a diamond bachelor. I want to marry him. However, hearing these murmurs, Lu Sha felt powerless to retort. After all, I see you as classmates, but you want to be my stepmothers. After the lecture ended, people in the hall dispersed, leaving only Yi Bohai and Lu Sha, the father-daughter duo. At this time, Lu Sha joked, I didn't expect you to be so charming, Dad. So many classmates want to be my stepmother. Yi Bohai laughed, that's right, Sha. So you better behave, or I might find you a mean stepmother. Hearing this, Lu Sha acted coy in front of her father, showing a little girl's demeanor. Dad, you wouldn't dare. By the way, why did you suddenly decide to give a lecture at our school? At this moment, Yi Bohai looked around, making sure there was no one else around. He sighed and slowly said, Sha, do you remember 12 years ago when Shirtu also gave a speech here as a new student representative? Lu Sha's expression darkened upon hearing this. Brother, who was once called a genius, now. Lu Sha hesitated, then after a moment asked, Dad, how is brother doing now? Yi Bohai's face also grew solemn. He reached out to pat Lu Sha's head and softly replied, still the same. Seeing Lu Sha's sad expression, Yi Bohai spoke up, trying to change the subject. It's getting late. Sha, let's go eat. Lu Sha was about to agree, but suddenly remembered she had promised Murong Mo Bai to have dinner together tonight. She felt a bit embarrassed about refusing her father. Unexpectedly, Yi Bohai shook his head and sighed dramatically. A married daughter is like spilled water. Once you have a husband, you don't need your father anymore. Lu Sha felt a bit ashamed and pushed her father towards the exit. All right, I'll go eat with you. Let's go now. As Lu Sha and Yi Bohai left through the door, they didn't realize that this scene was secretly observed by Zheng Xiaolin from afar. She watched their retreating figures, gritting her teeth. Yi Lu Sha, see Wen Hao left the Zheng family and abandoned me. This is all because of you. I'll make you pay for this. She took out her phone and dialed a number. Hello, I have evidence of Yi Lu Sha's infidelity. When a man receives these two messages at the same time, which one will he choose to believe? Murong Mo Bai first saw the message about his wife canceling their plans, saying she was going to have dinner with her father. Then he opened the picture sent by Duan Mu Weining. Lu Sha was smiling, dining happily with a handsome man whose back was turned to the camera. And so, the Duke, who was just discussing business with a friend a moment ago, turned and left in a huff the next second. Meanwhile, in the high-end restaurant, Yi Bohai and Lu Sha were having a warm family dinner. The father and daughter hadn't seen each other for a long time. Halfway through the meal, Yi Bohai casually said, I met your ex-boyfriend Jiang Siyuan Hao today. That boy is quite polite. He even told me he still loves you and can't forget you. Sha, do you still love him? Hearing this, Lu Sha shook her head. That's not important anymore. I'm married to His Highness now. Yi Bohai swirled the red wine in his glass and continued, of course it's important. If the person you truly love is Jiang Ciyuan Hao, then divorce Murong Mo Bai. Lu Sha was shocked to hear this. She retorted, you were the one who arranged for me to meet and marry His Highness. It hasn't been that long, and now you're telling me to divorce him. Dad, what are you trying to do? This is too much. Hearing Lu Sha's serious response, Yi Bohai laughed. I was just saying. You're so worked up, and you keep saying His Highness this and that. It seems you really care about him. As an outsider, Lu Sha suddenly realized something from her father's words. It turns out that even her father couldn't allow anyone to speak ill of His Highness. This must be what love feels like. However, what the two diners didn't notice was that this scene was secretly photographed by Zheng Xiaoming, who had followed them. He sent it to Duan Mu Weining, which led to the current situation. Murong Mo Bai rushed to the restaurant with an angry face. He strode towards Lu Sha's direction. Duan Mu Weining and Zheng Xiaolin, who were hiding in the shadows to watch the drama unfold, were caught by a silver-haired man who came with Murong Mo Bai. It wasn't you two who told Mo Bai to come here and catch them in the act, was it? Duan Mu snorted. I knew Yi Lu Sha wasn't good enough for Mo Bai. Look, she even dares to cheat. Hearing this, the silver-haired man couldn't help but laugh. Ha, you two are really funny. Next time, get your facts straight before acting. After all, who would make a son-in-law come to catch his father-in-law? The two women who were waiting to watch the drama unfold were shocked upon hearing this. They turned back, awkwardly, to look. His Highness had indeed seemed very angry just now. He was just jealous of his own father-in-law. The title of Asia's King of Jealousy is well-deserved. As son-in-law and father-in-law locked eyes, the atmosphere became indescribable for a moment. Uncle Yi spoke first with a smile. I happened to give a speech at Sha school today, so I asked my daughter to have dinner with me. I hope your Highness doesn't mind. Hearing this, Lu Sha thought, Dad is deliberately trying to guide His Highness. Murong Mo Bai understood the situation clearly upon hearing these words. He graciously replied, it's been 3 months since Sha and I got married, and I haven't formally visited you yet. That's indeed my fault. Yi Bohai didn't intentionally make things difficult. No need to be so formal. A married daughter is like spilled water. As long as Sha is happy, it's nothing for me as a father to suffer a little. Murong Mo Bai continued humbly, I still haven't shown proper etiquette. Uncle, if you want to see Sha in the future, you can come directly to Nan Yuan anytime. However, as soon as he said this, Uncle Ye's face darkened. He asked in return, Uncle. Lu Sha suddenly felt the atmosphere turn cold. She quickly leaned close to Murong Mo Bai and whispered, reminding him to call him Dad. Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai turned his head somewhat embarrassedly and called him Dad, just like Lu Sha. Only then did Yi Bohai withdraw his serious expression and nod. That's more like it. It seems he still listens to his wife. He then looked at Lu Sha and said gently, Sha, I prepared a gift for you in the car. Go get it, will you? Hearing this, Lu Sha was delighted. She stood up immediately, saying, Thank you, Dad. She took joyful little steps and turned to go downstairs to get the gift. Murong Mo Bai, however, knew that Yi Bohai must have an ulterior motive. He calmly asked, You deliberately sent Sha away. You must have something you want to tell me. Yi Bohai didn't deny it. His tone became cold as he said seriously, I hope you won't hold a wedding ceremony. Murong Mo Bai was confused. Why is that? Sha deserves a grand and solemn wedding. Otherwise, she'll surely have regrets. Bohai continued, Of course Sha wants a wedding, but not now. Because if you get married now, her identity as a princess will disrupt her peaceful campus life and prevent her from completing her studies smoothly. Murong Mo Bai disagreed, confidently promising, As long as I'm here, no one will be able to disturb her. Yi Bohai frowned and sternly retorted, You may be able to shield her from external disturbances, but the pressure that comes with this identity at Sha's current age, do you think she can emerge unscathed? Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai fell silent. Indeed, he hadn't considered it thoroughly enough. At this point, Yi Bohai stood up and patted his shoulder. Think it over carefully. I trust your character and abilities, and I trust my daughter's judgment. With the conversation at this point, Murong Mo Bai smiled and extended his hand. Mr. Yi, thank you for trusting me. I will definitely convince Lu Sha. Yi Bohai shook his hand, his tone affirmative. I hope you'll keep your word. One moment, the girl was happily carrying a pile of gifts. The next moment, she unexpectedly ran into her ex-boyfriend walking towards her with roses. Lu Sha's expression immediately changed. She thought, this guy isn't going to confess to her here, is he? She tried hard to hide her face behind the gifts, thinking to herself, don't see me, don't see me. But Jiang Siyuanhao paid no attention and walked straight up, grabbing her hand. His tone carried a hint of desperation. Sha, I hope you'll give me another chance. Lu Sha felt helpless and could only awkwardly continue to explain, I've already made it clear before. I'm married now. Jiang Siyuanhao still refused to let go at this point. He urgently asked, but are you really with him because you love your highness? Sha, I know I've hurt you before, but at least during those days, we truly loved each other. I swear, I'll never do anything stupid to let you down again. Lu Sha was a bit dazed hearing these words. She realized that his highness was right before. The reason she and Jiang Siyuanhao broke up in the first place was because they weren't in love enough. Thinking of this, Lu Sha firmly and seriously replied to Jiang Siyuanhao, that's right, I'm very sure. I love his highness, so I want to be with him. As soon as Lu Sha finished speaking, Jiang Siyuanhao hadn't had time to respond. He held Lu Sha's hand, but was pulled away by someone who arrived. Say that again. Murong Mo Bai stepped forward. He directly caressed Lu Sha's face and asked softly, say that last sentence to me again. Lu Sha's face flushed under his intense gaze. You've already heard it, why say it again? Murong Mo Bai's mood became exceptionally good today. Without saying more, he turned and pulled Lu Sha away. Let's go. The two sat on a private plane, preparing to head to the villa. Lu Sha lay on the comfortable bed, unknowingly falling into a deep sleep. When she opened her sleepy eyes, Murong Mo Bai was quietly watching her. Lu Sha was a bit disoriented. Your Highness, are we still on the plane? Where are we going now? At this moment, Murong Mo Bai leaned in close to her. The man's lips curled slightly, with a hint of flirtation. I said I'd give you a perfect experience. Hearing this, Lu Sha instinctively clutched the blanket in front of her. What kind of experience? What experience? Marrying a duke is just as sweet. You sleep on a private jet, and when you open your eyes, you're on a remote island. The island has a pleasant climate and beautiful scenery. Accompanied by a pleasant aroma, the sea view that met her eyes made Lu Sha feel relaxed and happy. The sea breeze blew through her hair, and her whole body relaxed. Lu Sha couldn't help but exclaim, it's so beautiful. At this moment, a warm, large hand embraced her waist from behind. Murong Mo Bai hugged Lu Sha and asked, do you like it? Lu Sha nodded happily. Your Highness, is this our honeymoon? Murong Mo Bai smiled and summoned the surprise he had prepared in advance. At this time, a man and a woman playing soothing violin music approached them, pushing a cart with cake and wine. Seeing this, Lu Sha couldn't help but burst into laughter. She didn't expect His Highness to be so cliché. Though cheesy, it was very cute. Seeing her amused expression, Murong Mo Bai's eyes showed a hint of worry. What's wrong? Don't you like this? Lu Sha shook her head, smiling. No, I like it. I like it very much. Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai poured champagne into glasses. Wife, shall we drink a toast? Lu Sha felt a bit embarrassed being suddenly called wife. She wasn't fully used to this term yet. The atmosphere between them was romantic as they took their glasses and drank with linked arms. Next, Murong Mo Bai extended his hand gentlemanly and asked, my lady, may I have the honor of another dance? Lu Sha immediately placed her hand in Murong Mo Bai's, accompanied by the soothing melody of the violin. The two began to dance in the room. Murong Mo Bai's hand around Lu Sha's waist became restless. He leaned close to Lu Sha and whispered, Sha, I want you. The man's tone was irresistible. Before Lu Sha could respond, Murong Mo Bai picked her up bridal style. I don't want to wait another moment. They arrived in the bedroom, and Murong Mo Bai gently set Lu Sha down. Sha, are you willing? Lu Sha's face turned red. She nervously replied, Your Highness, I'm willing, but I don't know what to do. Murong Mo Bai lowered his head, looking into his young wife's eyes. You don't need to do anything. Just relax and leave the rest to me. Lu Sha gradually felt the man getting closer to her. Her hands unconsciously embraced his broad back, feeling an uneven texture on his skin. These were the scars His Highness had gotten while saving her before. Looking up into the man's loving eyes before her, Lu Sha could no longer suppress the feelings of love in her heart. She took the initiative to kiss him. Your Highness, I love you. I love you so much. Murong Mo Bai looked at Lu Sha, her face flushed red, her voice still trembling as she professed her love. He found Sha incredibly alluring like this. The newlyweds, who had played cards all night, slept particularly soundly. As soon as Murong Mo Bai opened his eyes, he couldn't resist giving his young wife in his arms a kiss. Lu Sha, feeling the movement, also woke up drowsily. At this moment, Murong Mo Bai held her face. Sha, are you completely mine now? Lu Sha naturally extended her arms to embrace the man. From the moment I married your highness, I became completely yours. Murong Mo Bai gazed at her lovingly, about to speak, when he was interrupted by the vibration of a phone on the bedside table. Who would ruin his good mood so early in the morning? Murong Mo Bai picked up the phone, somewhat displeased. Seeing the display, his brows furrowed. He got up, casually put on a shirt, and left the bed to answer the call. Lu Sha watched Murong Mo Bai's back from the bed, feeling puzzled. His Highness seemed very nervous. It must be an important call for him. However, 15 minutes passed. Lu Sha's stomach growled. She was getting hungry, but the man outside was still on the phone. She got out of bed and walked to the balcony, wanted to have breakfast with Murong Mo Bai. Just as Lu Sha reached him, Murong Mo Bai hung up the phone. He lowered his head, reached out to pat Lu Sha's head, and asked, "Are you hungry?" Lu Sha nodded and asked softly, "Your Highness, do you have something to attend to?" Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai didn't deny it. His tone was tinged with reluctance as he apologized. Sha, something urgent came up. I can't have breakfast with you. I need to leave to handle it." Lu Sha's heart sank upon hearing this. "You're leaving now? Leaving me here alone?" Murong Mo Bai gently kissed Lu Sha's forehead and patiently explained, "It's sudden. Don't worry, I'll come back to you as soon as I'm done. We'll keep in touch by phone." Lu Sha reluctantly held on to him. She pouted, "Your Highness, I understand, but can you kiss me again before you leave?" Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai generously lowered his head and kissed her. He changed clothes and hurriedly left. Left alone, Lu Sha watched the departing boat, feeling an inexplicable emptiness in her heart. "Your Highness, I'm already missing you." The girl was walking on the street when suddenly a child called her mom. Though it was strange, the teary-eyed child clung to Lu Sha, and she didn't know what to do. Just half an hour ago, Lu Sha was feeling lonely in a foreign holiday hotel. Her husband had left her alone to handle other matters. Even the delicious food on the table held no appeal. Finally, her phone rang. It was a call from Murong Mo Bai. Lu Sha's heart leapt with joy as she quickly answered. However, what she heard wasn't something to be happy about. Murong Mo Bai's voice on the other end sounded hurried. Sha, I won't be able to finish things here in time. Don't wait up for me tonight. Get some rest. I'm about to take off." Lu Sha was about to speak when she faintly heard a woman's voice in the background. After hanging up, Lu Sha stared blankly at her phone screen. His Highness had left her alone, and who was that woman with him? Thinking about this, Lu Sha shook her head. She trusted Murong Mo Bai. Lu Sha told herself not to overthink. It must be His Highness's assistant. She got up, patted her head, and composed herself. After all, it was a rare trip to the Maldives. Even if His Highness wasn't by her side, she should enjoy herself. With this in mind, she dressed up carefully and prepared to go out. The weather was nice. Lu Sha walked alone on the unfamiliar streets. Suddenly, a familiar Chinese sign caught her attention. Just as she was about to take a closer look, a silver-haired little boy ran up to her, excitedly calling her mom. "Mom, you're finally back." Lu Sha looked around, confused, trying to figure out who the child was calling. Unexpectedly, the little boy hugged her without hesitation. Lu Sha crouched down and patiently explained, "Little one, you've got the wrong person. I'm not your mom." However, upon hearing this, the little boy's eyes immediately welled up with tears. "Mom, don't pretend you don't know Xiao Che. Xiao Che is very obedient and good." Seeing this, Lu Sha reached out to pat his head, comforting him. "Little one, I'm really not your mom, but you're so cute. Your mom definitely wouldn't abandon you." Just as she finished speaking, a figure approached. "Xiao Che, you'll scare the lady like this." The man crouched down and gently picked up Xiao Che. Lu Sha looked up. "How come it's you?" This little cutie lost his mother at birth. He calls every pretty lady he sees on the street mom. Lu Sha suddenly felt awkward because of this unfamiliar child. However, when the child's gentle and handsome father appeared before her, Lu Sha was stunned. It was the man from the hot springs a few days ago, with whom she had parted on bad terms. Remembering the man's frightening appearance before, Lu Sha couldn't help but take a few steps back. Seeing this, the little boy in his arms became anxious. "Dad, Mom is leaving again. Quick, stop her. Don't let her abandon Xiao Che." Seeing Xiao Che's soft and adorable appearance, Lu Sha felt a bit sorry for him. Such a fierce man. Actually had such a cute silver-haired child. The man holding Xiao Che patiently explained, "Xiao Che, look carefully. She's not your mom. Your mom is much prettier than her." Hearing this, the little boy looked up and examined her closely. Now that he mentioned it, she did look different from his mom. Realizing this, Xiao Che ran to Lu Sha's side and apologized. "Big sister, I'm sorry. I mistook you for someone else." Lu Sha thought to herself that this little boy was 100 times more polite than his father. She then reached out to ruffle his hair and asked, "It's okay, little one. Do I really look that much like your mom?" Xiao Che nodded and continued, "Also, big sister, my name is Huaxing Che. You can just call me Xiao Che." After saying this, he reached out his little hand to hold Lu Sha's. "I am hungry. Can you have dinner with me?" Looking at Xiao Che's big, blinking eyes, Lu Sha couldn't bear to refuse such an adorable request. The three of them went to a nearby restaurant to eat. Xiao Che happily clung to Lu Sha, asking her this and that. He even personally went to get drinks for her. After dinner, he wanted to continue playing with Lu Sha and invited her to go diving. Lu Sha hesitated a bit when she heard about diving and tried to refuse. However, faced with Xiao Che's repeated invitations, Lu Sha eventually followed him to a beach. They put on their snorkeling gear and went under the sea surface. The underwater scenery was gorgeous and captivating. Suddenly, Lu Sha felt her left leg tighten. She was having a cramp. Xiao Che, watching from a distance, saw Lu Sha gradually sinking and became extremely anxious. Lu Sha lost her strength and was at a loss. Was she going to go straight to heaven here in the Maldives? Lu Sha's eyes gradually lost their light. At this moment, a figure swam towards her. When Lu Sha regained consciousness, Xiao Che was sitting by her bedside. It was Xiao Che's father who had saved her. The man had just finished showering and walked up to her with only a towel around his waist. Lu Sha felt a bit embarrassed and turned her head away. "Thank you for saving me, but you should put on some clothes first." Hua Xingyuan crouched down by her bed and asked, lowering his head, "It's not like you haven't seen it before." Hearing this, Xiao Che leaned in curiously and asked, "Big sister, so you know my dad?" Lu Sha felt awkward. She couldn't tell the child that she had accidentally walked into the men's bathhouse. Lu Sha stammered an explanation. "We've just met once by chance." After saying this, she got up, put on her shoes, and hurriedly said goodbye. Seeing Lu Sha flee in such a panic, Hua Xingyuan curled his lips in a smirk. Such a big reaction. It might be worth teasing her more. The woman returned to the hotel in a mess, only to find that her husband had already returned. Murong Mo Bai looked at her with confusion. "Where did you go alone? Why are you in such a state? You're all wet." Lu Sha hesitated. If she told His Highness that she had just met the man he hated most, he would surely be angry. Lu Sha held Murong Mo Bai's hand and vaguely explained that she had gone to pay for something. Before he could respond, she quickly changed the subject. "Your Highness, have you finished your business? Next time, can you go with me? It's so boring to go alone." However, Murong Mo Bai didn't agree. The man shook his head, showing signs of fatigue. "Go take a shower first. Otherwise, you'll catch a cold. We'll talk after you're done." Lu Sha went to the bathroom and turned on the hot water shower. As the hot water washed over her body, Lu Sha felt uneasy. His Highness looked upset as soon as he returned. She wondered if something hadn't gone well. Lu Sha showered with these thoughts in mind. Wrapped in a bath towel, she walked out. As soon as she entered the bedroom, Murong Mo Bai seemed to have been waiting for a long time. The man approached her, handed her a towel, and said directly, Sha, get dressed now. We're going home immediately." Lu Sha was surprised. "Why are we leaving so quickly?" Murong Mo Bai's tone carried a hint of apology. "The matter I need to handle is somewhat urgent. It can't be finished quickly." At this point, Murong Mo Bai continued to hold Lu Sha and comforted her. "I'm sorry, Sha. I couldn't give you a perfect honeymoon. But once things are settled, I promise to make it up to you." Hearing this, the bitterness in Lu Sha's heart gradually dissipated. She softly replied in Murong Mo Bai's embrace, "It's okay. Your Highness, Highness, as long as I'm with you, anywhere is fine. But Your Highness, next time, don't leave me alone again. Murong Mo Bai held Lu Sha tighter and said, all right, I promise you. The little wife doesn't want to be a freeloader, begging her husband to let her experience life. In a high-end office building in the city center, Murong Mo Bai was working. Lu Sha, nearing graduation, was discussing with her domineering husband about interning at a subsidiary company. However, Murong Mo Bai didn't understand. With so many businesses, he wondered why Lu Sha wanted to work a thankless job. He thought she could just casually intern, get a stamp on her certificate, and be done with it. But these words sounded very unsatisfactory to Lu Sha. This was a serious matter to her. If she was going to do it, she wanted to do her best. How could she just go through the motions? She reached out her small hand to hold Murong Mo Bai's. Your Highness, I don't want to be a freeloader. Can I work in the media industry that I like? Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai replied indifferently. What's wrong with being a freeloader? If Sha runs around chasing news, it's so tiring. I'd be worried. Lu Sha was at a loss for words hearing this. Seeing her husband's unyielding attitude, she felt troubled. It seemed she had no choice but to use her trump card. So Lu Sha grabbed Murong Mo Bai's shoulders and directly flipped herself on top of him. In the office, she brazenly sat on Murong Mo Bai's lap. Murong Mo Bai was caught off guard by her sudden move. What are you doing? Lu Sha continued to lean into the man's face. I'm now using the beauty strategy to make Your Highness agree to my request. Murong Mo Bai's interest was piqued by Lu Sha's teasing. He reached out to embrace her. The initiative reversed. This level of beauty strategy won't work. After saying this, the man lowered his head and firmly held Lu Sha. It was a while before he slowly let go. You need to at least reach my level to negotiate. Hearing this, Lu Sha gave herself a pep talk. In for a penny, in for a pound. Lu Sha, to achieve your goal, you can definitely do it. She reached out both hands and gently wrapped them around the man's neck. The gradually increasing tickling sensation on his neck made Murong Mo Bai lose some control. He stood up and picked up his little wife. Sha, you started this, you know. A night passed, and Lu Sha's beauty strategy was somewhat successful. The next day, she smoothly arrived at a media company for her internship. As soon as Lu Sha finished her self-introduction at the new company, she encountered a big news story. The supervisor immediately sent her out in a hurry. She was to stake out with a colleague. Lu Sha hurriedly followed behind the senior reporter, asking, what news are we chasing? Why so urgent? The man replied while walking. It said that one of the world's top 10 most desirable bachelors, Prince Hua Xingyuan of Green Valley, is checking into the Global Hotel today. This is big news. If we can dig up some scoop on him, we'll strike it rich. Lu Sha was startled upon hearing Hua Xingyuan's name. Isn't that the silver-haired man I've met twice before? The two arrived at the Global Hotel to wait. Sure enough, not long after, a luxury car pulled up. Lu Sha's colleague quickly prepared the camera and started taking secret photos. The car door opened, and a man of extraordinary bearing slowly got out. At this moment, there were two click sounds. Hua Xingyuan turned his head at the sound. Who's there? On the first day of the Duchess experiencing life, she ended up following paparazzi to stake out and take secret photos. However, her colleague with extremely poor professional ethics had just pressed the shutter when they were discovered by the subject of the photo. What's more, this subject turned out to be the male colleague who had teased her before. Seeing that they were discovered, the colleague abandoned Lu Sha and ran away. Before Lu Sha could react, she was suddenly sprayed with water. A silver-haired little boy came running with a water gun, showing a victorious smile. "Ha! I caught you, you big bad secret photographer." Hua Xingyuan came over and pulled away his mischievous little son, Xiaoche. Looking closely, he realized it was Sister Lu Sha. Lu Sha felt quite embarrassed. She didn't expect to be so unlucky on her first day of internship. Xiaoche apologetically reached out his little hand to hold Sister Lu Sha's. "You're soaked through. Come back with Xiaoche to change clothes first." Lu Sha wanted to refuse, but she simply couldn't resist Xiaoche's innocent plea. So she followed the father and son back to a mansion. Just as she changed clothes and came out, she saw Xiaoche standing alone in the kitchen, fiddling with something. Lu Sha was startled and quickly ran over, saying, "Children shouldn't be in the kitchen. It's dangerous." Xiaoche turned around nonchalantly and asked her, "Do you want some noodles, sister?" Lu Sha worriedly asked back, "Why are you cooking noodles here? Why don't you ask someone else to do it?" Hearing this, Xiaoche sighed. "Dad doesn't like to be disturbed, so it's just us father and son at home." Lu Sha patted Xiao Chei's head gently and said softly, Xiao Chei, if you want noodles, let me make them for you. Soon, a bowl of noodles was ready. At this time, Hua Xingyuan came in. Xiao Chei happily called him over to eat together. Seeing Hua Xingyuan, Lu Sha wanted to leave first. After all, nothing good ever happened when she met this person. Lu Sha stood up to say goodbye to Xiao Chei. But the little gentleman Xiao Chei held her back, concerned. It's not safe for a girl to go alone. Sister, you should let Dad send you back. Lu Sha shook her head, wanting to refuse, but Hua Xingyuan directly went out with her, giving her no chance to refuse. I don't want to break my promise in front of Xiao Chei. Besides, for his sake, you don't want to disappoint him either, right? Lu Sha turned her head to see Xiao Chei leaning on the window, seeing her off. She sighed, opened the car door and got in. The girl became an instant mom, saying goodbye to the cute little boy, and got into his father's car. As soon as the door closed, the man's expression changed. He waved his hand and threw a camera at her. Is this your purpose? Lu Sha took the camera, somewhat confused about what purpose it served. Wasn't this her paparazzi colleague's camera? How did it end up in Hua Xingyuan's hands? The man frowned, showing a hint of disdain. Woman, do you think just by getting close to my son, you can let your little website get a headline scoop? Hearing this, Lu Sha finally understood. So the man thought she was deliberately approaching them for work, just putting on an act. Lu Sha calmly replied, it's not as bad as you imagine. Besides, I didn't know at first that my colleague was coming to secretly photograph you. Lu Sha opened the camera and deleted the secretly taken photos. She continued, moreover, for me, even if it were for work, I would rely on my own abilities to complete it, not deceive an innocent child. As soon as she finished speaking, the car suddenly came to an abrupt stop. Due to inertia, Lu Sha's body lurched forward. She let out a startled cry. What are you trying to do? The man stopped the car and turned to grab Lu Sha. His eyes revealed a hint of threat. Interesting. You went to great lengths to get these photos, and now you're deleting them. What exactly are your intentions? Could it be that you're just trying to get my attention? Lu Sha was irritated by this cliché, CO-like line of questioning. What era are we in? How can you still say such things? Hua Xingyuan leaned close to her ear and continued, you, a married woman, can come to seduce me. Why can't I play along and act like a domineering CEO? Lu Sha was even more speechless hearing this. She loudly replied, Mr. Hua Xing, as Murong Mo Bai's trophy wife, the future empress, why would I need to lower myself to seduce you, a prince from another country? Your status isn't as noble as my husband's, and your looks and demeanor can't compare to his. Do you think I'm blind? Hearing her clear-minded and sharp-tongued rebuttal, Hua Xingyuan was somewhat surprised. He couldn't help but applaud. Ha, you Lu Sha, you're so impressive. Does your duke know about this? Hearing him laugh instead of getting angry, Lu Sha replied with displeasure. The matters between my husband and me are none of your concern. Since the car has already arrived here, and Xiao Chei can't see us now, I'll be going back on my own. Lu Sha opened the car door and got out directly, not wanting to have any more entanglements with this man. But it was an hour's journey back home from here, and it was impossible to get a cab in this remote area. She took out her phone and called Murong Mo Bai. She'd have to ask His Highness to come pick her up. However, as soon as the call connected and Lu Sha was about to speak, she heard an unbelievable voice on the other end. MOG, I'm scared to go in for the examination alone. Can you come with me? She had clearly called her husband, but a girl's voice came through the phone. Lu Sha was about to ask who he was with when she heard a faint cry from the woman on the other end. Before Lu Sha could speak, Murong Mo Bai hurriedly said, I'll be home soon, and hung up. This was the first time Murong Mo Bai had ever hung up on her. Lu Sha's face darkened. Who was this woman? At this moment, Hua Xingyuan walked up to Lu Sha and calmly said, you really like him. Lu Sha was startled. Why haven't you left yet? The man's brow seemed to reveal a hint of bitterness. Why do you all like him? Lu Sha was surprised. This seemingly carefree man actually showed such a heartbroken expression. Lu Sha couldn't help but ask, who do you mean by you all? But Hua Xingyuan just shook his head without speaking. He turned around with a dejected look and said, let's go. It's getting late. I'll take you back. Seeing this, Lu Sha thought, it seemed this person wasn't in the mood to tease her anymore. His Highness couldn't possibly come to pick her up now, so she put aside her thoughts. Well, given the situation, let's just go home. Lu Sha got into the man's car. Hua Xingyuan was distracted and didn't speak for the entire journey. Not long after, they arrived at the entrance of the mansion. Lu Sha said, thank you, this is fine. I can walk in from here. However, Unbeknownst to her, Hua Xingyuan was looking through the rearview mirror and saw Murong Mo Bai's car approaching. The man smirked, unbuckled his seatbelt, and deliberately leaned close to Lu Sha. "Let me help you unbuckle." Murong Mo Bai had just arrived at the entrance and looked towards this unfamiliar black car. His eyes widened, unable to believe the ambiguous position of the two people inside. He slammed on the brakes. Lu Sha heard the harsh sound of brakes and looked back. It was Murong Mo Bai. The man's face was now dark, his eyes revealing extreme anger. Lu Sha hurriedly opened the door and got out. Before she could speak, Murong Mo Bai violently pulled her to him. The atmosphere instantly froze. Hua Xingyuan was already leaning against the car, smiling as he looked on. "Duke, how brutal indeed." At this moment, Murong Mo Bai's face was extremely dark. He angrily said, "Hua Xingyuan, you're not welcome here, and stay away from my wife in the future." Hua Xingyuan waved his hand dismissively and replied nonchalantly, "First, it was your wife who approached me. Second, it was you who abandoned her in the middle of nowhere, not caring at all." Hua Xingyuan opened the car door to leave. Murong Mo Bai, "Take care of your own people." Finally, he didn't forget to give Lu Sha a flirtatious look. "And Miss Yi, keep the clothes. They're a gift. No need to return them." Hua Xingyuan drove away, leaving an even angrier Murong Mo Bai behind. His own wife was wearing clothes given by another man. "Yi Lu Sha, what do you have to say for yourself?" Hearing his accusation, Lu Sha was not intimidated. Her eyes flashed with anger. "Well, let me ask your highness, who was that woman on the phone just now?" Murong Mo Bai was speechless when asked. After a moment of silence, Lu Sha let out a cold snort. She broke free from his grip and turned to leave. "When your highness feels like talking, we can continue this conversation properly." Murong Mo Bai turned his head to watch Lu Sha's retreating figure, extremely irritated. After a moment of restraint, he suddenly exploded. He grabbed Lu Sha and forcefully embraced her. Lu Sha, still angry, pushed Murong Mo Bai away. "Your highness, what are you trying to do?" Murong Mo Bai directly cupped her chin and retorted, "Didn't you say you loved me? Now you won't even let me touch you." Lu Sha looked up at him and replied with a somewhat forced tone, "Your highness, we're both not in the right state of mind right now. Besides, I'm very tired." Unexpectedly, hearing this, Murong Mo Bai's brow furrowed even more. He directly threw her onto the bed. The man moved forward roughly. "Now you're only tired for me. Is that so? You've had enough fun with Hua Xingyuan, so now you don't need me anymore." Seeing his wife wearing clothes given by another man, the man was furious. In his anger, he directly covered the woman's mouth, not letting her make a sound. Murong Mo Bai gave Lu Sha no room to resist. He leaned down, about to forcefully take what he wanted. Lu Sha's eyes were filled with fear. Even though the person in front of her was her husband, she couldn't help but tremble. Why was he treating her like this? Tears rolled down from the corners of her eyes. She never thought that someone as gentle as Murong Mo Bai would hurt her. At this moment, Murong Mo Bai finally noticed something was wrong. The man gradually came to his senses from his jealousy and anger. What was he doing? This behavior was exactly like Jiang Qinghao, who had hurt Lu Sha before. Murong Mo Bai's voice revealed a hint of weakness. "Go take a shower. Change out of those clothes. I won't touch you again today." Murong Mo Bai went to the study alone to calm down. Unexpectedly, his assistant rushed in urgently. "Your Highness, it's bad. Madam has a fever." Soon after, Murong Mo Bai's friend, a top surgeon, was called over. Looking at the weakened Lu Sha lying in bed, the doctor was startled. It seemed there was a situation. After the diagnosis, Murong Mo Bai tucked Lu Sha in. Although Lu Sha was very weak now, there was no major problem. Some medicine and rest would do. At this time, the doctor's eyes revealed a hint of seriousness. "Just don't be too beastly in your actions. You need to consider the girl's physical condition." As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Sha suddenly sat up and let out a few dry heaves. Murong Mo Bai stepped forward to support her, asking what was wrong. Lu Sha looked up at him, still a bit dazed. Seeing this, the silver-haired doctor came over and asked, "How long has this nausea been going on?" Lu Sha thought for a moment and replied, "It seems to have started recently, and my period is also a few days late." Hearing this situation, the silver-haired man turned his head and suggested, "We should go to the hospital for a checkup. If there's a baby, we can't take medicine carelessly." Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai turned around decisively and said to Lu Sha, "Change your clothes. We're going to the hospital." Then he directly went out. The silver-haired doctor followed him out of the bedroom. Seeing Murong Mo Bai's indifferent appearance, he said, "Mo Bai, why do you look so unhappy?" Murong Mo Bai remained silent. The doctor, as his good friend, couldn't help but lean in and joke, "Looking at your expression, one might think you've just found out you're going to be a father." Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai's eyes immediately changed. The doctor, feeling the heat of his gaze, quickly waved his hands to smooth things over. "You're not telling me this is true, are you? I know Louis isn't that kind of person." However, Murong Mo Bai still had his doubts. After all, if it wasn't true, why didn't Lu Sha mention anything about what happened in the car? The doctor worriedly asked, "If there really is a child, what do you plan to do?" Thinking about this, Murong Mo Bai felt utterly betrayed. He replied through gritted teeth, "Better to kill wrongly than to let go." Unexpectedly, with a bang, Lu Sha had just finished changing and pushed the door open. Her face was also filled with anger. "Murong Mo Bai, so this is how you see me. I will never forgive you." After saying this, she left in anger. Lu Sha walked outside, physically and mentally exhausted. It happened to be snowing. She hadn't even had time to put on shoes. Her foot slipped and she was about to fall. But Murong Mo Bai, who had chased after her, caught her. Seeing this man who had hurt her so deeply again, Lu Sha couldn't help but shed tears. She struggled, wanting Murong Mo Bai to let go of her. She pushed hard. Unexpectedly, the man used the momentum to flip her over and pin her down. Lu Sha looked up at the man, feeling only panic and fear. The man deliberately flirted with a married woman, just to get revenge on her husband. Upon learning that Murong Mo Bai had fallen for his trap, thinking Lu Sha had an affair with him, being cheated on, and becoming a father, and wanting to get rid of the child, Hua Xingyuan revealed a pleased smile. But his son, Xiao Che, didn't understand. He wanted to get revenge on Murong Mo Bai. But why did he have to hurt Sister Lu Sha? Xiao Che thought Sister Lu Sha was a good person. Hua Xingyuan patted his head and told him, "Xiao Che, remember, in this world, you can trust anything except women." At this time in the hospital, Lu Sha lay weakly in bed. Murong Mo Bai was looking at the test results nearby. It turned out to be a false alarm. His doctor friend sat nearby, teasing the Duke. Even jealousy should be appropriate to the situation. Before he could finish, Murong Mo Bai silenced him with a look. "Have you said enough?" At this point, Murong Mo Bai understood most of it. It was clearly Hua Xingyuan's deliberate scheme against him. However, he had misunderstood Lu Sha. At this moment, Lu Sha slightly opened her eyes. She woke up, her eyes somewhat turbulent. She looked up at Murong Mo Bai, then turned away. "I don't want to see you right now." Seeing this, the doctor tactfully left. Hearing the sound of the door closing, Lu Sha finally let out a sigh of relief. However, turning her head, she saw Murong Mo Bai still sitting in his original position. She continued to shout angrily, "Please leave." But Murong Mo Bai held Lu Sha's hand and said softly, "I'm sorry." Lu Sha was somewhat surprised. "What did you say?" Murong Mo Bai continued to apologize. "I'm sorry, Sha. I was too rash. I was easily provoked by Hua Xingyuan's taunts. I even let anger cloud my judgment. Sha, I was wrong. You can hit me, scold me, but please don't ignore me." Hearing this, Lu Sha was silent for a moment, then turned her head and said softly, "I want some water." Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai immediately got up to pour water. But Lu Sha noticed his hand was wrapped in bandages. His Highness was actually injured. At this moment, her heart immediately softened. "What happened to your hand? Was it just now?" Murong Mo Bai shook his head and interrupted, "I'm fine." Lu Sha was unconsciously filled with concern. "Your Highness always gets hurt protecting me. But why don't you believe that I only love you?" Hearing these words, Murong Mo Bai's mood brightened. He nodded, "I believe you. I only trust you, Sha. Do you trust me?" Lu Sha reached out to hug Murong Mo Bai. "Your Highness, I believe we love each other. There will be no more misunderstandings." Murong Montak Bai's Brau relaxed. He gently kissed Lu Sha's forehead. "Lie down properly. I'll go get you some water." Unexpectedly, Lu Sha touched her belly and asked then, Your Highness, what about our child? A hint of concern flashed in Murong Mo Bai's eyes. The doctor checked. You're not pregnant. It was just a symptom of stomach cold. Hearing this, Lu Sha felt a bit sad and stopped talking. Murong Mo Bai took her hand and kissed it comfortingly. Don't overthink it. There's no rush for children. Right now, I just want to spoil you alone. Lu Sha's face flushed again from his flirting. Even though they were married, her heart still fluttered. At this moment, Murong Mo Bai looked at Lu Sha with gentle eyes. Murong Mo Bai secretly made plans. Hua Xing Yuan, you use Sha situation. This won't be settled so easily. Newlyweds fight at the head of the bed and make up at the foot. After reconciling with Lu Sha, Murong Mo Bai became increasingly doting. He personally escorted Lu Sha to her internship. Although she knew it was her husband's company, Lu Sha still wanted to conceal her identity and seriously complete her school's internship task. She learned that she had gone to secretly photograph Hua Xing Yuan that day to get a headline. Murong Mo Bai decided to personally deliver a headline for his wife. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., I will appear at Times Square. Hearing this, Lu Sha felt warmth in her heart. Was His Highness going to deliver news for her? Even official media didn't get such treatment. Seeing her happy, delicate appearance, Murong Mo Bai reached out to rub her head. After all, for his wife, I need to play a role when necessary. However, when Lu Sha entered the office, she found the atmosphere heavy. A colleague told her that their previous gossip about His Highness the Duke had been plagiarized. The entire group had worked 2 all-nighters to almost complete it, but it was plagiarized by Group A, who published it first. The male colleague, Xiao Su, got increasingly angry as he spoke. He stood up, ready to lead people to confront Group A. At this time, the plagiarist from Group A was being praised by the director. Xiao Mei, your news report is really excellent. Halfway through speaking, the door was kicked open. As soon as Xiao Su entered, he pointed at her nose and accused the red-haired woman of plagiarism and moral bankruptcy. The red-haired woman completely denied it, saying Group B employees were extremely sloppy and throwing mud. At this point, the director interrupted. Don't argue. If Group B says Group A plagiarized, then provide evidence. But this happened suddenly, and Group B was left speechless when questioned. Seeing this, the director's face darkened. I don't care about your process. I only want results. Do you understand? He then directly told them to go back and continue their respective duties. Hearing this, Lu Sha couldn't help but interject, Director, I read this report. It's not about plagiarism, but I found an inappropriate part in the report. The director was somewhat surprised. This newcomer was an unfamiliar face. The red-haired woman nearby mocked. A newbie who just arrived shouldn't talk nonsense. Hearing this, Lu Sha confronted her directly. I see that besides plagiarism, you even wrote in the report that His Highness the Duke likes Duan Mu Wening. Aren't you afraid of the royal family suing you for libel? The red-haired woman's face darkened upon hearing this. What do you commoners know? Duan Mu Wening is my cousin. She and His Highness are childhood sweethearts. It's just a matter of time. Hearing this, Lu Sha continued sarcastically, Oh, so you're Duan Mu Wenying's cousin. No wonder your character is so poor. The red-haired woman was furious. She cursed, You lowly commoner. You're not even fit to tie my cousin's shoes. How dare you speak to me like this? As she finished speaking, Lu Sha unexpectedly took out a voice recorder. I think this time we should make a headline. Certain noble shocking words. Commoners not fit to tie noble shoes, and put it online. Everyone will surely be curious about nobles like you. After saying this, the red-haired woman was so angry she grabbed Lu Sha, ready to fight. This was interrupted by a colleague behind them. This time we don't need to publish other news. This noble lady from Group A has already become a big joke. The royal official blog had debunked the rumor, pointing out that the report was pure fabrication. His Highness the Duke had no relationship with Duan Mu Wening, and the Duchess had already been chosen. The party responsible for publishing the report must bear legal responsibility. At this time, the director received an official notice and immediately turned pale. Group A members wouldn't have a good outcome. They had brought this on themselves. Group B members all felt greatly satisfied seeing this. At this moment, Lu Sha's phone vibrated. She opened it to see a message from Murong Mo Bai. Sha, are you satisfied with your husband's performance? To help his wife's career soar, the Duke was prepared to personally deliver a big headline. It's worth noting that news about Crown Prince Murong Mo Bai was something even top-tier media couldn't get. Lu Sha advised her colleagues, suggesting they go to Times Square together to stake out and secretly photograph her husband. Sure enough, after not waiting long, a royal used car arrived as promised. The colleagues were extremely excited. This time, could it really be Murong Mo Bai? As they watched the car stop, the colleagues quickly raised their cameras and set up their positions. The car door opened. Murong Mo Bai stepped out. The colleagues' eyes lit up as they secretly photographed. As expected of royal demeanor, even just a silhouette is so dazzling. Lu Sha looked at the silhouette in the camera, lost in thought, but she was interrupted by a colleague's exclamation, "Look, His Highness the Duke is on a date with someone." Lu Sha raised her head in confusion. How could His Highness be dating someone else? Looking up, she saw a silver-haired man walking up to Murong Mo Bai. This wasn't a date at all. It was clearly His Highness's good friend, Incite. They're both men. The dark-haired colleague, while continuing to take photos secretly, replied, "They're both men. How come neither of them has a girlfriend? And now they're shopping together at Times Square. Isn't this a date? And they look so good together. Quick, take pictures." Lu Sha's thoughts were getting more and more off track. She even thought the scene looked beautiful. Realizing this, she quickly shook her head. That was her husband, after all. At this moment, the colleague who was wildly imagining things called out again. They're going into a jewelry store together. Could they be getting engaged? Just then, Lu Sha received a text message. It was from Murong Mo Bai, telling her to continue following them inside. Led by Lu Sha, the two entered the high-end jewelry store. As soon as they entered, they saw a dazzling necklace displayed in the most prominent position. A salesperson smiled and approached them. This must be someone Murong Mo Bai had arranged in advance. The salesperson introduced, "This necklace is our new Black Swan star model. It symbolizes one life, one world, one pair. The gentleman who was just here bought one." The colleague, hearing this, became extremely excited. "The person just now wasn't that." The salesperson nodded. "It's who you're thinking of. I'm only telling you because you're Sha's friend." Unexpectedly, the next second, the dark-haired colleague started shipping Lu Sha with the couple. "Did you hear that? His Highness bought the Black Swan necklace. It must be for his beloved Silver Prince." To assert her ownership, the woman directly kissed her husband in public. In the evening, Murong Mo Bai came to pick up Lu Sha from work. The man leaned against the car door, his exceptional figure attracting many glances. Even Xiao Mei, the arrogant and vicious colleague from the office earlier, wanted to approach and get acquainted. Lu Sha walked towards Murong Mo Bai. Xiao Mei, standing nearby, called out with displeasure, "And in turn like you, step aside. Don't try to seduce my man." Lu Sha was speechless. "Your man isn't the one next to the car, is he?" The woman smiled smugly. "Of course he is." At this moment, Murong Mo Bai walked towards them. Xiao Mei struck a pose and approached coquettishly. "Handsome, are you waiting for someone? Is it your girlfriend?" Murong Mo Bai replied expressionlessly, "I don't have a girlfriend." Xiao Mei asked again if this was true. She couldn't let such a rich and handsome man slip away. Murong Mo Bai nodded again. Watching this scene, Lu Sha's face changed rapidly. Just as Xiao Mei was about to cling to Murong Mo Bai, Lu Sha stepped in front of him to block her. Xiao Mei's eyes darkened. "In turn, what are you trying to do?" Lu Sha replied loudly, "I don't mind if you flirt, but don't lay hands on my man." Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai thought Sha was really cute. Xiao Mei, however, was very defiant. "Your man, didn't you hear him say he doesn't have a girlfriend?" Lu Sha chuckled. "I'm not his girlfriend. I'm his wife." Xiao Mei burst into laughter, pointing at Lu Sha and saying she was delusional. At this point, Murong Mo Bai took off his sunglasses and said contemptuously, "The one who's sick is you." Seeing the handsome man directly put his hand on Lu Sha's shoulder, Xiao Mei looked incredulous. Murong Mo Bai teased Sha with a smile. "She doesn't seem to believe it. Why don't you prove it to her?" Hearing this, Lu Sha looked around embarrassedly. It seemed that with so many people coveting His Highness, she needed to assert her ownership. Lu Sha looked at Xiao Mei and said seriously, "You better watch closely." After saying this, she turned and pulled Murong Missouri Bai close, standing on tiptoe to kiss him. Murong Mo Bai was caught off guard. After a moment, he turned and held her, deepening the kiss. The onlookers were in an uproar. Xiao Mei left angrily. Murong Mo Bai released Lu Sha and put a necklace on her. Lu Sha joyfully held up His Highness. Murong Mo Bai replied softly, "Such a meaningful token of love naturally should be given to the person I love most." New character Hai Lan debuts. The Duchess can't afford haute couture, directly slapped in the face. Half a day ago, Lu Sha was eating alone in a restaurant. Murong Mo Bai had been on a business trip for half a month. She felt very bored. Suddenly, her phone rang. It was her colleague, Sister Bing, saying that Lu Sha's previous news had been rated the best of the year. At tonight's annual meeting, there might be big shots from the headquarters attending. Lu Sha thought, isn't the headquarters His Highness's company? She wondered if he could make it back. So, to dress up for the occasion, her colleague suggested they go buy dresses together. In the haute couture dress shop, a blue dress caught Sister Bing's attention. But when they saw the price, it was 30,000. Sister Bing playfully winked at Lu Sha. This would definitely suit you. Although it's expensive, let's try it on. It doesn't cost anything to try, right? Just for fun. Lu Sha looked at the dress. It was indeed prettier than the others. Moments later, she tried it on. The light blue haute couture dress on Lu Sha made her look exceptionally elegant. Sister Bing couldn't help but praise. I didn't expect our little one to look so beautiful when dressed up. This dress seems tailor-made for you. At this moment, a woman's sarcastic voice was heard. Tailor-made. Can you afford it? Zhu Meidong walked up to them. She imperiously called out to the sales assistant. This dress. Give me a large size. Wrap it up directly. The sales assistant was a bit embarrassed and said, Miss, each dress only comes in one size. Hearing this, Zhu Meidong pushed further than just take it off her. It's not like someone like her can afford it anyway. Sister Bing was angry and wanted to retort, but Zhu Meidong simply ignored her. She hurriedly told the sales assistant to take the dress off Lu Sha. The sales assistant nervously approached Lu Sha. I'm very sorry. If you're not buying it, please take it off. Lu Sha raised an eyebrow and asked, what if I buy it? Hearing this, Sister Bing was surprised. Little one, are you crazy? This dress is so expensive. Lu Sha directly took out a card and handed it to the sales assistant to pay. It's fine. I can afford one dress. Seeing this, Zhu Meidong mocked her for putting on airs. However, a few minutes later, the sales assistant returned the card to Lu Sha, saying the limit wasn't enough. Lu Sha was surprised. How is that possible? This card has a limit of 50,000. The sales assistant then explained that the price of this dress was 300,000. Lu Sha confirmed again with the sales assistant. Are you sure you're not mistaken? Isn't this dress priced at 30,000? Zhu Meidong, seeing this, laughed out loud. This kind of high-end consumption isn't something you can afford just by hooking up with some nouveau riche. Lu Sha was angry hearing this. This woman actually called His Highness nouveau riche. Just as she was about to speak, a man's hand reached out. He presented a black card and asked, is the limit on this card enough? Lu Sha looked up and saw it was Hua Xingyuan. Although she didn't have a good impression of him, she calmly said, thank you, Mr. Hua. Please leave your account number. I'll transfer the money to you later. Hua Xingyuan smiled and said, Miss He, no need to be so formal. Consider this dress a gift from me. Lu Sha was about to refuse again when the door chimed and someone walked in. The store manager welcomed her. Miss Wei Sheng, you're here. He was about to instruct the staff to bring out Miss Wei Sheng's custom-made dress, but saw the dress on Lu Sha. It turned out the new sales assistant had made a mistake and let a customer try on a pre-order dress. The store manager apologized to Miss Wei Sheng. Wei Sheng Hailan shook her head nonchalantly. It's fine. Just have her take it off. At this moment, Zhu Meidong ran over, eagerly calling out Sister Hailan. Seeing this, Lu Sha felt an inexplicable unease. Wei Sheng Hailan. Zhu Meidong imperiously pointed at Lu Sha. Quick, take off Sister Hailan's dress and return it to her. Lu Sha calmly asked, I've already paid for this dress. Why should I return it? Hearing this, Zhu Meidong loudly scolded, you're so shameless. This dress was specially ordered by my sister Hailan. The store manager also urged Lu Sha to take it off quickly. Lu Sha was indignant and retorted, your store made the mistake. Why should I be responsible? You sold this dress to me fair and square just now. Now you want to take it back. Hearing this, Wei Sheng Hailan calmly spoke, Miss, you say fair and square. But if I'm not mistaken, you didn't buy this dress yourself, did you? Using a man's money and still trying to act righteous. How interesting. Lu Sha didn't expect this woman to speak so sarcastically. She retorted directly, I said I would pay it back. There's no need for an outsider like you to meddle in this, is there? Wei Sheng Hailan Ice Daken. The store manager's heart skipped a beat. He approached Lu Sha and reminded her of Miss Wei Sheng's identity. We can't afford to offend her. Lu Sha laughed angrily upon hearing this. Do you know who I am? What makes you think you can afford to offend me? The store manager was left speechless by the question. At this moment, Wei Sheng Hailan continued, since Mr. Hua paid for it, why don't we ask him? Hua Xingyuan, however, wasn't as composed as usual. He looked at Hailan in silence. Lu Sha was a bit surprised. She suddenly remembered the sign that said Hai Lan and Yuan from their previous vacation. Could it be referring to these two? Seeing that Hua Xing Yuan hadn't spoken, Hai Lan gently called his name. Only then did Hua Xing Yuan react. Hai Lan said, "I didn't expect you'd still recognize me after all these years." Hearing this, Hai Lan smiled and said, "Xing Yuan, you're so famous now. It'd be hard not to know you. Is this Missy your girlfriend?" Hua Xing Yuan calmly replied, "Just a friend." Hai Lan curled her lips, her tone somewhat teasing. "Right, a friend who spends 300,000 at a go. You're quite generous." She then pointed at Lu Sha. "I have an important performance tonight. This dress was specially prepared for it. Could you possibly—" Before she could finish, Hua Xing Yuan interrupted, "You don't need to ask. The dress now belongs to Miss Yi." Hearing this, Lu Sha only uttered 2 words, "Don't acknowledge." Then she turned and left directly. Lu Sha and Sister Bing went downstairs. Sister Bing jokingly said that Hai Lan and Lu Sha looked somewhat similar, almost like sisters at first glance. Lu Sha immediately shook her head. "What sisters? We're mortal enemies. I can't stand that kind of person who likes to throw money around." Lu Sha got into the car. Before starting the engine, she caught a glimpse of Hai Lan again. She also saw His Highness's assistant, Wang Kai. Lu Sha was shocked. Wang Kai was supposed to be on a business trip with His Highness. Why was he here to pick up Wei Xing Hai Lan? Seeing Lu Sha lost in thought, Sister Bing waved her hand. Lu Sha snapped back to reality. "Let's go back first," she said. At the annual meeting, Lu Sha, wearing her newly bought dress, attracted many envious glances. Suddenly, her phone rang. She picked up, and it was Murong Mo Bai's voice. Lu Sha's heart leaped with joy. His Highness was coming back. He said he'd come to pick her up. The couple hadn't seen each other for half a month. Lu Sha missed him dearly. After hanging up, she happily turned to walk back to the banquet hall. However, as soon as she pushed open the door, a group of people applauded and crowded around her. Lu Sha was caught off guard. "What's going on?" Lu Sha had just returned to the banquet hall when her colleagues pulled her aside, saying she had won a prize. It was the grand prize of a half-month European tour. The award was presented by a middle-aged man who stuffed the prize ticket into her hand. He didn't forget to touch her hand again. It was rumored that this foreign editor was lecherous. It seemed true. It's better to stay away from him. As Lu Sha walked off the stage, her colleagues gathered to congratulate her. The foreign editor also followed her from behind. He wanted to toast her. Lu Sha stepped back. "What's this? Workplace harassment." She stepped back, wanting to refuse. Team leader Brother Gang smiled and approached, taking the drink from the foreign editor's hand to defuse the situation. "Editor Yang, Little Yi doesn't drink. I'll drink on her behalf." Editor Yang's eyes flashed with displeasure. He said sarcastically, "What a good team leader, looking after your team member. Why don't you all come and toast this great team leader, as well as today's grand prize winner?" After several drinks, Brother Gang was starting to struggle. Lu Sha wanted to intervene, but the men following the foreign editor taunted her. "If he doesn't drink, are you going to drink instead?" Lu Sha was angry and about to speak, but Brother Gang stopped her. "Little Yi, don't be rash. The entire team's evaluation is in his hands. If we anger him, we'll all suffer. Just endure it." Lu Sha looked back at her colleagues. Everyone was angrily suppressing their feelings. Lu Sha thought to herself that as an intern, she didn't have to care about these things. But it was different for the other team members. She couldn't ruin everyone's future because of herself. Lu Sha turned to look at the arrogant Editor Yang again. She suppressed her resentment. Walking up to Editor Yang, she apologized. "I'm new to the workplace. I don't understand many of the rules. If it offended Lu Sha, I'll drink to apologize." Before she could finish her drink, Editor Yang's eyes darkened. "Little Yi, since you're so sincere, I naturally won't hold it against you. But drinking alone is no fun. This time, let's cross our arms and drink together." Editor Yang rudely put his arm around Lu Sha. At that moment, someone snatched the glass from his hand. Murong Mo Bai, with a gloomy face, remarked, crossing arms to drink. "Should I join you?" He turned Lu Sha around, protecting her. The old man behind him angrily shouted, "Where did this brat come from? Daring to steal my woman?" With a splash, Murong Mo Bai poured the drink directly on his face. The old man, enraged, raised his fist. He threw a punch straight at Murong Mo Bai. Murong Mo Bai dodged and smashed the glass directly on his forehead. This scene left everyone at the banquet stunned. Then Murong Mo Bai kicked hard, aiming at his lower body. The pain made him writhe on the spot. Murong Mo Mo by held Lu Sha and asked, which hand did he touch you with? Lu Sha said she couldn't remember. Hearing this, Murong Mo by coldly said, then let's not spare either. He stepped on Yang's left hand with one foot and his right hand with the other. After dealing with Editor Yang, a group of men in black flooded into the banquet hall, forming a human wall. The attendees whispered in awe, realizing that little Ye's husband was indeed an extraordinary figure. Lu Sha had drunk alcohol and felt dizzy. Murong Mo by noticed and asked what was wrong. Lu Sha just felt dizzy and unwell. Hearing this, Murong Mo by picked up Lu Sha, saying, let's go home immediately. The girl woke up in bed. For some reason, after sleeping all night, her whole body ached. She lifted the covers and looked, only then recalling last night's experience. She couldn't help but blush. At that moment, her phone rang on the bedside table. It was her husband's call. She answered the phone. Just as Lu Sha was about to speak, she heard urgency on the other end. Murong Mo by had to hang up hurriedly. Lu Sha felt a bit disappointed. She and His Highness hadn't had quality time together for a long while. But remembering that His Highness just said he'd be home for dinner tonight, Lu Sha decided to cook herself. After a busy afternoon, a table of delicious dishes was ready. Lu Sha called Murong Mo by, asking when he'd be back. But Murong Mo by said he wasn't finished yet and wouldn't be back for dinner. Before Lu Sha could say more, he hung up again. She was a bit angry. He had promised to come home for dinner. It was nearly midnight when Murong Mo by returned home. Seeing Lu Sha lying on the sofa waiting for him, the butler told him that Madam insisted on waiting for him here. Murong Mo by reached out to touch Lu Sha. He gently picked her up, changed her into pajamas, and went to bed together. Moments later, Lu Sha woke up. Seeing the man sleeping beside her, she thought, His Highness is finally back. As she looked at him, she couldn't help but reach out to touch him. The more she looked, the more she liked him. Lu Sha carefully propped herself up. Just as she was about to lean down for a kiss, Murong Mo by unexpectedly opened his eyes. It turned out that when Lu Sha woke up, Murong Mo by was already awake. Lu Sha felt a bit embarrassed. His Highness was awake but pretending to sleep. Was he teasing her? Murong Mo by softly replied, it's rare to see Sha Sha so proactive. How could I miss this chance? Sha Sha waited for me so late. Did you miss me? Lu Sha looked at him. Murong Mo by said sincerely, I missed you so much. Murong Montak by hooked Yu Sha lovingly. Once I finish this busy period, I'll definitely spend more time with you. After saying this, he turned and put on his shirt. Lu Sha asked puzzled, Your Highness, you're getting up so early. Are you going to be busy again? Murong Mo by nodded. He gestured for her to continue sleeping and left. In the morning, with nothing to do, Lu Sha went out to buy some things for the new year. Unexpectedly, she encountered Wei Shenhai Lan in the underground parking lot again. It was His Highness's car and driver. Lu Sha's heart skipped a beat. Twice now, this couldn't be a coincidence. What exactly was the relationship between Murong Mo by and Wei Shenhai Lan? On New Year's Eve, her husband was with another woman. In the luxurious mansion, Lu Sha felt cold and lonely. Suddenly, her phone rang. Lu Sha was delighted, wondering if His Highness had changed his mind. Lu Sha picked up the phone, but it was her father's voice on the other end. Yi Bohai asked if Sha Sha was at Nanyuan. Lu Sha smiled and chatted with him, not forgetting to wish him a happy New Year's Eve. Yi Bohai suddenly asked if she wanted to come home for the new year. Lu Sha was stunned. Come home for the new year. Before she could respond, Yi Bohai continued, My daughter, how can you spend New Year's alone so pitifully? Lu Sha was surprised. How did her father know she was alone? Without giving her time to think, Yi Bohai said, The people I sent to pick you up will be there soon, and hung up the phone. Lu Sha thought for a moment. It made sense. His Highness wouldn't be coming back anyway. Rather than being alone here, she might as well go home and reunite with her father. Soon after, Lu Sha got into the car, sent to pick her up, and left. As soon as she got out of the car, she saw Yi Bohai waiting for her outside. It had been a long time since she'd seen her family. Lu Sha immediately flew into Yi Bohai's arms. Yi Bohai patted Lu Sha and asked softly, Little girl, why so emotional suddenly? Did Mo by bully you? Hearing this, Lu Sha paused for a moment. She thought it wasn't right to involve family in such matters. It would only make her father worry frequently. Lu Sha shook her head. Nothing's wrong. I just missed you. Hearing this, Yi Bohai didn't ask further. He took Lu Sha's hand and walked towards the house. This was an old house they only visited during the new year. Back home, Yibo Hai naturally handed Lu Sha an apron. Lu Sha took it and put it on. She thought her father was good at everything except cooking. If only her brother were here to help her. Thinking of her brother, Lu Sha became distracted. She hadn't seen her brother for 3 years. After hesitating for a moment, Lu Sha softly asked, "Dad, about my brother." However, before she could finish, Yibo Hai interrupted her, "Don't ask." Lu Sha felt disappointed. "Why can't I see my brother?" Yibo Hai comforted Sha. "Don't be sad. When the time is right, I'll let you see him." Tears rolled down Lu Sha's cheeks. She continued to ask, "Why do we have to wait? Is my brother's situation very bad?" Seeing his daughter crying, Yibo Hai leaned down to wipe her tears. Sha, don't cry. Trust me, everything will be fine." Lu Sha gradually calmed down. She told herself not to overthink. It was New Year's Eve after all. She should start cooking. Soon, a table of delicious dishes was prepared. Just as they were about to eat, Lu Sha poured wine for Yibo Hai. Unexpectedly at that moment, ding dong, the doorbell rang. Lu Sha wondered who would come on New Year's Eve. Yibo Hai glanced at his watch and said calmly, "Is he faster than you expected?" Lu Sha went to open the door. To her surprise, it was Murong Mo Bai. She was a bit shocked. "Your Highness, why are you here?" Yibo Hai's voice came from behind. "Mo Bai, since you're here, join us for the New Year's Eve dinner." Hearing this, Lu Sha realized that His Highness's sudden appearance must be related to her father. Murong Mo Bai held Lu Sha's hand as they walked into the house. He wished Yibo Hai a happy New Year's Eve and mentioned that he had sent people to bring gifts. Yibo Hai smiled and replied, "Just put the gifts down. Your presence is enough. We're family. No need to be so formal." The two men looked at each other. Seeing how tightly Murong Mo Bai held Lu Sha's hand, Yibo Hai thought, so he does care after all. Then he gestured for Lu Sha to get a set of bowls and chopsticks for Mo Bai. But Murong Mo Bai still held her hand, unwilling to let go. He pulled Lu Sha close, saying, "Let's go together." The couple came before the father-in-law, showing their affection. Murong Mo Bai held Lu Sha's hand, refusing to let go. He even said if father-in-law is willing, you could find a mother-in-law to torment us too. Lu Sha was shocked to hear His Highness joking like this with her father. But Yibo Hai laughed heartily, telling them to start eating. Lu Sha watched as her father picked up a piece of braised pork and placed it in Murong Mo Bai's plate. She thought, this is bad. His Highness is such a germaphobe. He'll definitely not eat food from someone else's home. However, the next moment, Murong Mo Bai ate it without hesitation. Lu Sha was shocked internally. His Highness actually ate food served by someone other than herself. Seeing Lu Sha lost in thought, Yibo Hai said softly, Sha, don't space out. Have a piece of your favorite braised pork." But just as Yibo Hai was about to serve her, Murong Mo Bai quickly passed a piece of meat to her. He was about to feed her. Yibo Hai raised an eyebrow at this. Competing with his father-in-law to dote on his wife, he didn't seem like someone who would cheat. It seemed their conflict was just a matter between the young couple. Better to let them resolve it themselves. Thinking this, Yibo Hai handed out a red envelope of New Year's money to Sha. Lu Sha wanted to refuse. After all, she was already married. But Yibo Hai deliberately said, "What does being married matter? Your husband didn't give you New Year's money, did he?" Lu Sha was speechless hearing this. Was her dad hinting at something? She waved her hand to refuse, but Yibo Hai generously said, "It's just 1 million. Sha, take it quickly. Your dad can afford it." Lu Sha was surprised. This time it was actually 1 million. He used to only give 100 yuan. Dad was clearly up to something. Seeing this, Murong Mo Bai took out a check and started writing. Lu Sha looked closer. 7 zeros, that's 10 million. After writing, Murong Mo Bai handed it to Lu Sha, saying, Sha, New Year's money. Lu Sha wanted to refuse, but Yibo Hai quickly took it, saying, "Keep it. How can you not accept? Little girl, don't let down your husband's sincerity." Lu Sha looked at the check in her hand, thinking, Dad, is this what they call throwing a brick to attract jade? Patting Yibo Hai, Murong Mo Bai continued to hint. Mo Bai has a good personality, but some things don't happen overnight. The most important thing is to maintain it over time. Murong Mo Bai smiled and agreed, "I understand. I won't forget Sha's New Year's money every year from now on." After dinner, they returned to their room to rest. Lu Sha had just finished her shower when she saw Murong Mo Bai flipping through her diary. She quickly ran to grab it back, saying, How can you just casually look through my things? Seeing her nervous state, Murong Mobai asked, why haven't you thrown this away yet? Are you keeping it in case you want to get back together with him someday? Hearing this, Lu Sha retorted, we haven't been back since we got married. It would be stranger to make a special trip back just to throw it away. Hearing this, Murong Mobai took Lu Sha's hand and said, then write one for me in the future. Lu Sha looked at Murong Mobai and asked, Your Highness, will you write one for me too? Murong Mobai fell silent. Lu Sha lowered her gaze and said, right, after all, Your Highness is so busy. How could you have time to exchange such childish diaries with me? I spoke out of turn. Murong Mobai sensed her displeasure and hugged her, wanting to inquire further. However, Lu Sha interrupted him. Your Highness, you have germophobia, right? Murong Mobai didn't understand. Lu Sha continued, Your Highness, I'm not as particular as you. I don't have germophobia, except in one aspect, physical intimacy. Hearing this, Murong Mobai's face darkened. Yi Lu Sha, what are you saying? A woman suspects her husband of cheating, but the husband is reluctant to explain. The atmosphere in the living room froze. Facing the silent Murong Mobai, Lu Sha spoke up, Your Highness, you must have a deep relationship with Wei Shenghailan. When you told me you were working before, you were actually with him, weren't you? Murong Mobai remained silent. Lu Sha couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe His Highness would do such a thing. She desperately wanted to hear a denial. Lu Sha looked up and asked loudly, Your Highness, if you don't speak, can I take it as your admission? Murong Mobai turned his head away, refusing to reply. Seeing this, Lu Sha's heart sank. A wave of grievance washed over her. She felt foolish. Lu Sha tried to maintain composure and continued to question, Your Highness, that day in the Maldives when you suddenly left me, you went to find him, didn't you? Murong Mobai turned to look at her, hesitating to speak. At this moment, Lu Sha lowered her head, not wanting to ask further. So it was true after all. After a moment, she spoke softly, Murong Mobai, let's get a divorce. At this, Murong Mobai grabbed her hand, incredulous. What are you saying? Lu Sha's face became emotionless. Your Highness, I think our marriage was a bit impulsive. We need to calm down and think about it. Murong Mobai wanted to keep Lu Sha. She forcefully pulled her hand away. When you're willing to be honest, we can talk properly. Lu Sha stood up to leave. Murong Mobai hugged her from behind, pleading, Sha, do you really want to divorce me? Lu Sha paused for a moment. As if making a monumental decision, she forcefully uttered a single word, yes. Lu Sha was waiting to see if Murong Mobai would tell her the truth. However, the next moment, Murong Mobai let go of her hand. Lu Sha understood his meaning. Without lingering, she left directly. Murong Mobai sighed where he stood. He murmured, Sha, you must have forgotten the circumstances of our first meeting. More than 10 years ago, Murong Mobai had become the crown prince. Because of this, he was always surrounded by hidden dangers, living amidst power struggles. During one violent confrontation, the young man suddenly felt that if he died, he could escape all of this. Just as he was about to pull the trigger to end his life, a little girl ran out and asked, Big brother, what are you doing? Little Mobai was startled. He was about to speak when he heard voices of those hunting him nearby. At this moment, little Lu Sha wasn't scared at all. She grabbed his hand and said she would help him. Little Lu Sha boldly approached the bad guys, distracting them, until the Duke's bodyguards arrived by his side. Lu Sha then reached out to bid him farewell. After Murong Mobai returned to the palace, he used all his resources to find her information, often secretly keeping track of her activities. He had planned to appear before Lu Sha when he was capable of standing on his own. But unexpectedly, Lu Sha already had someone she liked, until various events happened later, and he actually married Lu Sha. Thinking of this, Murong Mobai made up his mind. He had almost lost her once before. This time he absolutely wouldn't let go. A few days later, Lu Sha decided to go abroad to clear her mind. She returned to the country she had traveled to 5 years ago. This time coming here, she wanted to first thank the shop owner who had helped her resolve a robbery crisis 5 years ago. However, just as she was sincerely thanking the owner, a familiar voice came from behind. Lu Sha turned to look. It was actually Murong Mobai. She was shocked. Your Highness, are you stalking me? Hearing this, Murong Mobai quickly waved his hands. I just wanted to explain things clearly. I asked your father-in-law about your whereabouts. He walked up to Lu Sha, his face full of sincerity. Sha, about Wei Xinghai about my past and our first encounter I never thought to. Before he could finish, Lu Sha interrupted him. She unexpectedly said, our first encounter, wasn't it at the matchmaking event? Muong Montag by Gapit Yu Sha's hunt, Sha. We actually met much earlier. But because of my identity, many royal secrets couldn't be easily revealed. Hearing this, Lu Sha sternly asked, even our encounter and Wei Xinghai are secrets. Murong Mo Bai became anxious and continued, Sha, believe me. When everything settles down, I will definitely explain everything clearly to you. Okay, Lu Sha wavered. She didn't know if she should believe Murong Mo by now. At this moment, the bodyguard behind reported, Miss Hailan has arrived. Hearing that another woman had come, Murong Mo Bai immediately prepared to leave by car. Lu Sha saw through it, but didn't say anything. She asked, Your Highness, you're leaving again, aren't you? Murong Mo Bai pulled Lu Sha into his arms. Sha, please believe me, okay? Lu Sha remained silent in Murong Mo Bai's embrace. She told herself, since I love this person deeply, then I should trust him. Lu Sha stepped back. She looked directly into Murong Mo Bai's eyes, her tone serious and sincere. I choose to believe you. I hope your highness remembers the promise made today. Murong Mo Bai opened the car door and left. Watching the car drive away, Lu Sha sighed. What exactly is the relationship between Hailan and his highness? Not giving her time to think further, the next moment a figure darted out from the shadows. Lu Sha was startled. It was a thief. She hurriedly chased after him. Lu Sha felt at this moment that this place was jinxed for her, to be robbed twice in a row. This time she was determined to get her things back. Chasing to the corner, Lu Sha couldn't stop in time and crashed directly into the man in front of her. Her foot twisted, and she fell to the ground with a thud. The pain from her ankle prevented her from standing up for a moment. The man looked at Lu Sha sitting on the ground and asked, Why are you just sitting on the ground? Upon closer inspection, he realized it was someone familiar. Hua Xingyuan recognized Lu Sha. He took off his glasses and asked puzzled, Why are you crying? Did you twist your ankle? Hua Xingyuan crouched down and lifted her up in his arms. Lu Sha let out a surprised cry. She awkwardly said, Mr. Hua Xing, can you put me down? Hearing this, Hua Xingyuan smiled and replied, I can, but can you stand on your own? Lu Sha looked at her swollen ankle and didn't respond. As he walked, Hua Xingyuan said, Don't worry, I won't do anything to you. After all, I'm not like certain people. I have no interest in being a third wheel. Hearing this, Lu Sha was surprised and wondered what he meant. She suddenly remembered that Hua Xingyuan and Wei Xinghai seemed to have an unusual relationship. Previously, little Che even mistook her for his mother. Could it be that? Lu Sha pondered. Hua Xingyuan placed her on a bench by the roadside. He personally started massaging her foot. His movements were merciless. The pain made Lu Sha's face darken. She even suspected he was using this opportunity to torment her. A moment later, Hua Xingyuan finished. He stood up and said to her, Now try again. Can you stand up? Lu Sha skeptically moved her foot and indeed felt no pain. She stood up and shook it, finding it had truly returned to normal. Hua Xingyuan proudly waved his hand. The Hua family's traditional bone-setting technique is just that amazing. Lu Sha politely thanked him. I didn't expect you to be so nice. Hearing this, Hua Xingyuan scoffed. You say I'm nice. If Murong Mo Bai heard that, he'd probably want to strangle you. Lu Sha asked, What grudge do you have? Is it related to Wei Xinghai? Hua Xingyuan smiled. Couldn't get information from Murong Mo Bai, so you're trying to get it from me. Seeing his playful demeanor, Lu Sha didn't want to say more. If you don't want to tell, I naturally can't force you. But Hua Xingyuan grabbed her from behind. Are you just going to leave like this? Won't you treat your kind helper to a meal as thanks? Meeting Hua Xingyuan every time she went abroad, Lu Sha was suspicious. Was this really just a coincidence? This time she decided to just go along and see what his real intentions were. Hua Xingyuan unceremoniously held on to Lu Sha and even took a selfie of them. Lu Sha was about to speak when she saw two familiar figures approaching from afar. It was actually Murong Mo Bai, with Wei Xinghai following behind. Murong Mo Bai and Lu Sha made eye contact. He quickly pulled her away, turning to shield her in his arms. He angrily said to Hua Xingyuan, Stay away from my wife. At this moment, Hua Xingyuan looked at Hailan behind him and smiled. Murong Mo Bai, you really have double standards. How come you're allowed to philander outside? Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai became angrier. My affairs are none of your business. I'm warning you, don't get close to Sha again. After saying this, he hugged Lu Sha and turned to leave. Behind them, Wei Xinghailan and Hua Xingyuan exchanged glances. As they passed each other, Hua Xingyuan, with his back turned, asked, "Is being the third wheel fun?" Hearing this, Wei Xinghailan frowned. He turned his head and arrogantly replied, "That insignificant woman is the real third wheel." Hua Xingyuan watched Wei Xinghailan's retreating figure, lost in thought. He couldn't believe he had lost his true love 6 years ago to such a woman. He would make him pay for it sooner or later. Meanwhile, Murong Mo Bai walked away with Lu Sha in his arms. Lu Sha had just twisted her ankle and couldn't withstand such movement. She endured for a moment before softly saying, "Your Highness, please slow down. My foot hurts." Only then did Murong Mo Bai notice her discomfort. He immediately crouched down to check her injury. This scene was witnessed by Wei Xinghailan, who had followed them. Seeing this, his face turned ashen. He immediately pretended to fall as well. Murong Mo Bai heard his cry and quickly ran to catch Wei Xinghailan. Lu Sha turned her head in a daze. He followed and asked what happened, wondering if they should go to the hospital. Murong Mo Bai took him to the hospital. He first asked Lu Sha to wait in the ward. He needed to inquire about the situation with the doctor. After Murong Mo Bai left, Hailan, who was just unconscious on the hospital bed, burst into laughter. He mocked Lu Sha. "You're so stupidly funny." Lu Sha retorted defiantly, using fake illness to gain His Highness's sympathy. "You're truly pathetic." Hearing this, Wei Xinghailan jumped up. "Lu Sha, you're the pathetic one. Whether as a child or now, you've never been able to surpass me." His gaze darkened. "Do you want me to tell you why Mo Bai married you?" Lu Sha now felt this woman was just being unreasonable. Wei Xinghailan, seeing her unresponsive attitude, continued to mock. "Look at your pathetic state. Let me tell you, Mo Bai married you entirely because of me. Listen carefully. Mo Bai married you to use your bone marrow to save me." Lu Sha grew more confused. "What bone marrow? Is it about your illness?" Before she could finish, Wei Xinghailan interrupted. "That's right. My illness can only be cured with bone marrow transplant. And now we've found out. Only you and I are a match. Lu Sha, he married you as a last resort to save me. He loves me. You're nothing but a tool in his heart." Hearing this, Lu Sha couldn't help but sneer. "Wei Xinghailan question other zu mentally yu. How can you still laugh after hearing the truth?" Lu Sha calmly replied with a smile. "You're the sick one. You need my bone marrow, yet you think I'd donate it to you. Keep dreaming." Wei Xinghailan laughed smugly. "That's not up to you. With Mo by helping me, I'm not afraid of whether you're willing or not." Lu Sha responded nonchalantly as she turned away. "Is that so? Then you just wait for your dear Mo Bai to extract bone marrow from me and transplant it to you." Her own husband wanting to transplant her bone marrow to another woman. When Lu Sha first heard Wei Xinghailan tell her this, she was furious inside, but she still suppressed her anger, telling herself to stay calm. No matter what he said, she needed to find Murong Mo Bai and get the truth first. Just as Lu Sha walked out of the ward, she bumped into Hua Xingyuan again. This time, Lu Sha wasn't surprised. She directly asked, "Mr. Hua, aren't our encounters a bit too frequent?" Hua Xingyuan replied with a half smile, "You finally noticed. Seems you're not that stupid after all." Lu Sha continued, "Creating misunderstandings between His Highness and me multiple times was to target him. So, are you doing this for Wei Xinghailan?" Hua Xingyuan didn't deny it. He asked Lu Sha in return, "Isn't that not your concern? Without my interventions, could you really tolerate your husband constantly caring about another woman?" Before Lu Sha could respond, Hua Xingyuan's chest received a heavy punch. Murong Mo Bai shielded Lu Sha behind him and angrily said, "Hua Xingyuan, since you can't understand human words, don't blame me for being impolite." At this moment, Hua Xingyuan chuckled. "Murong Mo Bai, rather than wasting time on me, you'd better explain things to the person beside you. After all, I'm not capable of such a despicable act as making a wife donate bone marrow to an ex-lover." Murong Mo Bai realized Lu Sha already knew. He turned to look at Lu Sha worriedly. At this point, Lu Sha directly asked, "Your Highness, did you marry me just to have me donate bone marrow to Wei Xinghailan? Is this true?" Murong Mo Bai shook his head and said no. Before he could continue, Wei Xinghailan ran out from the ward, grabbed Murong Mo Bai's arm, and said softly, "Mo Bai, just tell her. Let her give up hope quickly." The next moment, Murong Mo Bai angrily pulled his hand away from her grasp. "Don't touch me. Wei Xinghai looked upset. Mo Bai, what's wrong? Don't you love me anymore? Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai exploded in anger. What nonsense are you talking about? I've never loved you. And what ridiculous things did you say to Sha to make her misunderstand? Wei Xinghai was in disbelief. Am I talking nonsense? Everything I said is true. Before she could continue, Murong Mo Bai interrupted her and directly asked Lu Sha, are you willing to donate bone marrow to her? Lu Sha replied without hesitation, never in this lifetime. At this moment, Murong Mo Bai nodded at her with a smile. Then he turned to tell Wei Xinghai, did you hear that? Sha is unwilling. I will find other suitable donors. Hearing this, Wei Xinghai's face darkened. She deliberately swayed weakly. But Mo Bai, you know I don't have much time left. Murong Mo Bai ignored her behavior and turned to leave with Lu Sha. At this time, Wei Xinghai wanted to fall again to get his attention, but this time her plan failed. She fell into Hua Xingyuan's arms. She seemed to have genuinely fallen ill. She struggled to open her eyes and saw Hua Xingyuan's face. She immediately pushed him away, saying, "Don't touch me. We have nothing to do with each other anymore. I don't want to see you." Hua Xingyuan calmly smiled and said, "It's rare that I, considering Xiao Chei's feelings, wanted to tell you about another bone marrow donor. But it seems you don't need to know now." Hearing this, Wei Xinghai grabbed him again. "Quickly tell me who it is." Hua Xingyuan pointed at himself. "It's me." Wei Xinghai was surprised. "It's you. What are your conditions?" Hua Xingyuan calmly replied, "To give you another chance to be Xiao Chei's mother." Wei Xinghai heard this and looked at Hua Xingyuan with contempt. "You're too despicable. You're actually using my life to threaten me." Hua Xingyuan raised his eyebrows. "Yes, I'm despicable and shameless. So we make a perfect match." Wei Xinghai raised her hand to slap him. But Hua Xingyuan caught her hand and continued, "Lu Sha hates you to the bone, and Murong Mo Bai loves her dearly. If you want to survive, you can only negotiate with me. Wei Xinghai, you have no choice now." Lu Sha didn't understand why His Highness cared so much about Wei Xinghai when he didn't love her. Murong Mo Bai told her, "I'm just fulfilling a promise, being loyal to someone's request." Lu Sha was surprised. What kind of friend could make Your Highness so concerned? Murong Mo Bai calmly replied, "That person is no longer here." Lu Sha felt a bit guilty. "I'm sorry, Your Highness. If it wasn't for Wei Xinghai, I would definitely help you fulfill this request." Hearing this, Murong Mo Bai gently comforted her. Sha, don't be sorry. No one can force you to do something you don't want to do." Lu Sha nodded gratefully. Suddenly, her phone vibrated. It was a call from her friend, Lu Wei. As soon as Lu Sha answered, she heard an anxious voice. Sha, your father is in trouble. Come quickly to the city central hospital." As soon as she hung up, Lu Sha was about to cry with anxiety. She grabbed Murong Mo Bai, her voice trembling. "Your Highness, quick, to the central hospital. My father." Murong Mo Bai realized the seriousness of the situation. He sped up and calmly replied, Sha, don't be afraid. Your father will be fine. We'll be there soon." Lu Sha rushed into the hospital. She saw Yi Bohai's butler with a grave expression. Before Lu Sha could speak, she was interrupted by a woman's sharp voice. "Yi Lu Sha, you bringer of bad luck. Get out of here." Lu Sha heard this. Displeased, she retorted, "Who are you?" "My father is in the operating room. What right do you have to make me leave?" The woman sneered, "Your father. Why don't you get a paternity test to see?" Lu Sha was shocked. Who was this person who knew she and her father had no blood relation? Seeing Lu Sha's silence, the woman pointed at her nose, got close, and yelled, "Get out now." As they were arguing, Lu Wei intervened, protecting Lu Sha. "Uncle Yi is still in surgery. Miss Yi Lu Li, it's forbidden to make noise outside the operating room." Lu Wei supported Lu Sha, comforting her. Yi Lu Li saw this and was very displeased. "And who are you to speak to me like that?" At this moment, an elderly woman sitting on a bench spoke up. "That's enough, Xiao Li, say less. Let's wait until after the surgery to discuss everything." Yi Lu Li nodded at this. She turned and threatened Lu Sha. "If anything happens to my uncle, I won't let you off." Lu Sha sat down on the bench and asked Lu Wei, "What exactly happened to my father?" Lu Wei replied with tears in her eyes, "Your father was in a car accident." Lu Sha couldn't understand. Her father had always been very careful when driving. How could he have had an accident? At this point, Lu Wei's tears flowed uncontrollably. She sobbed as she replied. In the area where Uncle Yi was, there was a sudden explosion. Lu Sha was shocked internally. Why was Lu Wei crying like this? and her father's car accident. It was Lu Wei who had contacted her. She was about to ask more questions when the operating room door opened. The chief doctor said, "The patient is temporarily out of life-threatening danger, but he might remain in a coma." The elderly woman sitting on the bench quickly stood up and grabbed the doctor. "What do you mean by remain in a coma?" The doctor continued to explain, "If the patient doesn't wake up, he might become vegetative. But it's not certain. There might be a chance he'll wake up." Hearing this, the elderly woman's body couldn't stand. How could this happen? The next moment, unable to bear the shock, she fainted. Lu Sha stood there, stunned. Everything happened so suddenly. After a moment, she finally accepted the reality. She was overwhelmed with grief. In her dazed state, she felt disoriented, until she saw a hand reaching out to her with a tissue. It was Murong Mo Bai. Lu Sha grabbed onto him as if he were her last lifeline. "Your Highness, my father," he. Murong Mo Bai pulled her into his embrace, gently patting her back. Sha, don't worry. I'll mobilize the best medical resources to save him. Your father will wake up soon, I'm sure." Lu Sha entered the hospital room to visit Yi Bo Hai alone. Standing outside the room, Murong Mo Bai quietly instructed Lu Wei, "While I'm out taking care of some matters, please look after Sha for me." A flash of determination appeared in Lu Wei's eyes. "You don't need to tell me. Even if it's just for Uncle Ye's sake, I won't let the Yi family harm Sha.